American officials say they sought and received the retraction of an independent monitor's warning of imminent famine in North Gaza.
The Famine System Network issued the warning this week. The new report had warned that starvation deaths in North Gaza could reach famine levels as soon as next month. It cited what it called Israel's near-total blockade of food and water. The U.S. ambassador to Israel, Jacob Lowe, criticized the finding as inaccurate and irresponsible. The U.S. Agency for International Development, which funds the famine monitoring report, told the AP Lowe had asked for and gotten the report's retraction. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A Chinese court has sentenced a man to death for killing 35 people last month by driving into a crowd, an attack that raised national concern about mass killings. The court concluded the man was venting anger because he was unhappy with a divorce settlement. News and analysis at townhall.com. New Hampshire Democratic Congresswoman Annie Custer is leaving Congress with the goal of opening doors for a younger generation in leadership.
Custer told the Boston Globe in a report published Thursday about her decision not to seek re-election. Quote, I think there are colleagues, and some of whom are still very successful and very productive, but others who just stay forever. I'm trying to set a better example. Her decision not to seek re-election was made public in March as concerns mounted about President Biden's age and his own re-election bid. Custer said at the time she wasn't sure that Biden could beat President-elect Donald Trump. Despite Democrats' loss in the presidential election, Custer will be replaced by Democrat Maggie Goodlander in Congress. Ernie Bennett in Washington.
New laws taking effect with the new year will affect Hollywood actors, social media stars, and talkative drivers. In many states, minimum wage workers will see a pay hike in January. AI, abortion, guns, marijuana, minimum wage, all subject to new laws in 2025. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to another morning without Mike Winters. That's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. No, Mixmaster Mike Winters is enjoying the final day of his holiday retreat, his holiday sojourn to the rightmost coast, heading over to the Maryland, D.C. area, off enjoying some family and some friends. Hopefully he had a great holiday and post-holiday. Hopefully you had a great holiday and post-holiday as well. I myself personally enjoyed quite a bit of time with family, with friends. Just that right amount of time to where, you're all gathered together with friends and you're enjoying each other's time. And then finally somebody breaks the seal and says, well, I think it's time for us to head on out. And then everybody else is like, yep, that's our cue. We're going to go too. And one by one, the party sort of dwindles down to just the folks who are cleaning up the mess. That was essentially most of the holiday parties that I went to. Stayed just long enough to clean up enough and then head on out the door on my merry way. Roy, how was your Christmas?
It was all right.
Yeah?
It was. We watched the NFL Netflix game and
nice.
Some NBA.
65 million people, they said, tuned into that game. And yet not nearly as much buffering as Mike Tyson and and Jake Paul.
It was
figured that one.
It was still kind of buffery.
Was
a
it?
little bit. I don't know if it was just the internet they had, or
That's
what.
possible. It's going to be interesting though heading into the new year because they're gonna be doing a lot more live streaming. They're really going to have to step their buffer game up.
Yeah.
If all this live content they hope to achieve in 2025 is to be achieved. So did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I got a couple surprises.
Cool.
You know, got a cool like Linkin Park shirt.
Nice.
Which I've never actually been able to afford before because like the band shirts are pricey.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
Especially tour shirts. Have you ever like on like at one of their concerts, like $50 for a T-shirt?
Yeah, and so I've always been like afraid to ask my parents to buy me like a band shirt and stuff.
Cool. So a Linkin Park shirt. I actually got one for AJR myself, but it's funny because you can tell when a shirt's been made in like China, because like it's AJR, but it says AJR band.
Oh,
it's like all right. I mean, it's cool. I like it. It's like it's one of my favorite shirts, but all right.
A bit Temu.
A little Temu-esque, but I will say it's
a bit wishy.
The design on it feels like it's woven into the fabric. It doesn't feel like it's been,
that's
what do you
good.
call it? Heat attached onto it, so it actually feels relatively authentic. Got a couple of crock pots about soup sized because I'm a soup guy, so. Anything I can make a quick, soup or a set it and forget it. Start of the day, beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, I got myself a nice little single serving soup.
You could just set a bunch of different kinds of dishes aside and then just like forget about it and then have a bunch of different things going for you at the end of the day.
Well, it's cool because I upgraded my my air fryer. I now have it's a double basket air fryer. So I have 2 crock pots and a double basket air fryer. I could make I could basically do an entire Super Bowl party just on my counter. I could have like wings, queso over here, and like one of the crock pots have wings in one thing of the air fryer, have like some potato thing over here in the other air fryer, and like a dip for that over here. And a nice little, put it this way, Royal Rumble this year is going to be awesome. I'm stepping up my serving game this year. Yeah, absolutely.
I almost bought an air fryer this year.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're going down in price.
They are.
Scoop one up while you can because you can get a really powerful model for next to nothing these days.
Yeah, like I don't know if it was like $20 or like $50 or what, but it's like, it's like a double, and there was like a double one too.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a deep fryer, but still a deep fryer. You can get a deep fryer for just $60 nowadays or something.
Oh yeah, you could basically open up your own your own food truck in the middle of your house for next to nothing these days. But overall, Christmas was a success. The kids got plenty of what they wanted. I got them a little bonus gift. I'm hoping will be in today. I got them both new sheet sets. They weren't as excited about the sheet sets as they were their other presents, but I'm excited for them to have some new bedding.
Yeah, I'm officially at the age where I'm actually glad to get clothes for Christmas because it's like, thank you, I needed this.
Exactly. You're like, oh, I'm going to use this. It's awesome. It's funny those utility
Which
gifts.
is a weird way of saying I can't afford clothes.
Well, yeah, or I'm just not willing to throw down on myself like that. I got kids to feed, so I don't just go out and buy myself new shirts or like a new hoodie. But thanks for being considerate and thinking of me. I appreciate that. Kids were satiated and everybody was. I ate so much. Like I had like 3 separate dinners on Christmas Day. Like that was. The majority of the gifts to myself was gluttony.
Yeah,
it was a whole lot. And I didn't. Go ahead.
Well, in Mexico, it's tamale season.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I still haven't actually had a good tamale. I've had some tamales this season, but that is offensive. But I mean, like from like a store or a gas station. I'm talking about like one of those, someone's abuelos,
Yeah,
set,
you can get it from Allsup's
in a kitchen and made them by hand for over a course like 12 hours.
Well, my family, they actually like buy them from. They have like a guy. Everybody's got a tamale guy where they buy their stuff from. So, I gotta tell you, I gotta give you my tamale guy.
Yeah, definitely hook me up. It's funny how like tamale guys are kind of like the new drug dealers. Sit on a parking lot like, you looking? Got it. Seriously, over here at the Albertsons, there's a guy who just sits there going, tamales, tamales.
Yeah,
that's how you know. He's right there and he's waiting for you.
And then other days he sells slices of cheese and the those big tortilla sized slices of cheese that just carrying around in a bag or just tortillas.
Or just loose tortillas, always a good thing to have. But welcome back. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Christmas vacation. Still got New Year's left to go. And by the way, a programming note: we will be having some stilted days next week. I believe we're just going to be off on, I think, on New Year's Eve day. So I think it's Wednesday, Thursday we'll be off. We'll know more once Mixmaster Mike gets back in the captain's chair come this coming Monday morning. But happy Friday to you. Yeah, I know this week just flew right by.
You know what hit me this morning when I left my house?
An F-150?
Wait. Why would an F-150?
I don't know. You said what hit you. I was like, I hope not, but go ahead.
Oh wait, no, I thought you meant the airplane, the jet fighter. No. That's an F-16.
It's an F-16. So what hit you this morning?
So you ever notice that when you go out like in the winter and it's like really cold, and then you ever get that like nasty stench of like a wet dog smell?
I kind of know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, what is that? You know?
Well, it also depends on where
I hate that so much about the winter.
Where you are in town, because like you live kind of towards the south, right? Like almost near the base area.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the dairies out there. There's a lot of farmland out there, so you're dealing with a lot more animals, livestock, and stuff like that. Up north, generally the smell that I walk out to is it's usually like an oil smell. On occasion, I've had someone say it smells like sweaty cow parts.
Yeah.
But cows don't have the parts that my dad used to say it was. But yeah, it kind of has that. But the best way to describe it is, as I've told my daughter, that's just dairy air. The smell of dairy air. Which dairy air, for those who don't know, is another way to say butt. So yeah, it smells like butt out there. But, as southeastern New Mexicans, we've come accustomed to the scent of dairy air. That's just my takeaway. It does smell like butt. Like wet dog and butt. 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let me give you the rundown for this morning's program. We're going to have a couple of replays this morning. Starting off here in just a few minutes. We'll be replaying the interview that Mike had with Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society, chatting about all the stuff going on as we get into the end of 2024 and the start of 2025. Possibly some dated information there because it was before Christmas, things of that nature. But we'll play that interview coming up here in just a few minutes. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, going to replay the interview that Mike had with Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot. That's right. He brings all the info that he has on getting you set up with your next home, with your home purchase. If you're a first-time buyer, there's incentives out there for you as well. Elliot breaks all that down for you in clear, understandable English. We'll play that for you coming up here in just a few minutes. In the 9 o'clock hour, coming up around 9:15 or so, going to replay the interview that Mike had with Justin Dominguez and Diana Luce from the District Attorney's Office, and kind of giving you a rundown of all of their tasks heading into the end of the year and into 2025, and kind of what the department is all about. So we'll have those for you coming up here in just a bit, along with all your hourly features, which of course includes your Kim Commando update, Sean Hannity report, and whatever else comes our way. Right now, it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds, our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Roswell Tire and Appliance
Appliance has a great selection of brand new refrigerators, freezers, ranges, washers, and dryers, all with special Christmas pricing now through New Year's. With Roswell Tire and Appliance, you can have it in your home before the end of the year. Save even more on their selection. Plus, find a huge selection of tires and the people to help you get it done. Roswell Tire and Appliance can repair your appliance as well. They pride themselves in service long after the sale, with repair warranty, and they deliver to all of Roswell and the surrounding area. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
Crystal Note. Here with the Humane Society here in Roswell. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. Enjoying the cool off.
It is it's nice. It's a little, but I love, this is actually a very nice week of weather. Like it's getting like 60s and that's nice.
It is,
and
but
cool
it's
enough.
Christmas. We're supposed to see wintry looking stuff.
Yeah.
Not fall.
I know, but I do dig this.
I'm not saying I don't dig it.
I know,
I'm
but
just saying.
I get what you're saying. I'm like, I should be wearing a winter coat. I should be like, you know,
cold.
Yeah, fireplaces, things like that. Yeah.
Snowball fights.
Right, yeah. And none of that happened. So, but I do have to travel next week, so I really don't want any of that either, because planes can't get where they're supposed to go with the perfect weather now, let alone when they start going bad weather.
Oh, let's start. You're going back to Maryland now.
Yeah, next week here we'll leave this. Well, actually, this weekend here, Sunday, we'll get out that way. So, yeah, but. Of course, the Humane Society, I know we got into a bunch of things, but I'm going to start off right now because we always got to do this at least once during this year. If you are that family that thinks getting a pet for the family for Christmas is a good idea, that's okay. A, if all parties are on board.
Yes.
And B, I know it's fun and it's cute and it makes a great picture, but having the dog or the cat in the box with the holes under the tree is not the way to go with this.
No. And speaking of that, because we do not allow gift giving for adoptions.
Yes.
If somebody is wanting a pet and you don't know what to get them for Christmas, you're more than welcome to help cover their adoption.
Sure. Prepay the costs and all that stuff. Whatever it costs to get them chipped or spayed, you can do all that for them.
Once they're approved.
Yeah, once approved, obviously.
However, as of the 19th, if all adoptions are not finalized, they will resume after Christmas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the vets are not doing any surgeries next week.
Makes
and
sense.
Friday is the last day for surgeries.
So you may be on the ball because today's the 18th?
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mainly so that way we can weed out the people that are, trying to give.
Sure.
And make sure that they're going to a home that everybody in the house is in agreement and they want the
Absolutely.
pet.
I know it's good intentions, but
it really is.
It's a
And
life you're talking about here. This isn't a
if you want
toy.
to, and we always tell everybody, if you want to bring a pet into your house for the holidays, and you have kids and everybody, get a stuffed animal, whether it's a cat or a dog, whatever you're choosing you want to adopt, and then have that as a surprise saying, we will go find a cat at the shelters after the holidays.
Yeah.
This is what you have to look forward to.
Or I would say, or another idea, get creative. If you're going to get them a dog or a cat, maybe put together a gift basket with the treats and the food and maybe some of the starter kit for them.
Right,
of
a
things they
leash,
need
collar,
to get their pet.
dog bed,
Maybe
little
that's
things
a
like
good
that.
idea. Yeah.
But don't rush and go get one because remember, not all animals are going to like your kids. And not all kids are going to do well with certain animals.
Sure.
There are certain kids that do great with dogs and not cats and vice versa.
Sure.
You want to make sure that it's a good fit for your family before bringing it home.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're creating a part of your family, but it's also, think of this as like your dating matchmaking services. You know what
Pretty
I mean?
much,
You're like,
yes.
like you just don't throw two people in a room to say good luck to you. You know, in essence, that's what you're kind of doing. Here's a dog. Maybe your personalities jive. Maybe they don't. Not my problem. Good luck to you.
Right.
That's what you're kind of doing to them.
Right. And so the easiest way to not do that is to involve everybody in the household. If you have like a family member that, you know, recently lost a pet and they said, you know, I think it's time for a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they're ready, you know, give them a card that says, I will help pay part of your adoption fee or whatever.
Right.
You know, an IOU kind of type thing. And that way, whenever they find the animal that they're ready for, you can be part of it and help them.
You help with all the financial or those ancillary expenses and things. And true. And then another thing, too, is like if you're getting this for your kids and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to teach them responsibility. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you, the parent, know that your kid will screw this up and ultimately the sword falls on you. You are the one that has to take care of this pet, make sure its needs are met and all that, because your kid will slip up on that. A bunch or a little, all kids do it. It's what kids do. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to remember, you, the parent, are
you
also still the parent.
Yes, you still have to be present and involved and overseeing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like, you know, when you have a toddler and you're potty training them, you know, when they go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom to make sure that they're actually doing what they're doing and not dunking their head in the toilet.
Right. Right. You brush your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many of that when you're a kid and you're literally standing in the toilet. They're like, you brush your teeth? Yeah, I'm brushing it. Yeah, I know that. Because I was the kid in the toilet.
See? So it is, you know, a great idea to help teach your kids, you know, the responsibilities of pets at a young age.
Absolutely.
And how to take care of them and how to handle them.
Yeah.
But as you said, you know, you as an adult, you need to be right there with them and don't expect them to take care of it without you being right there.
Absolutely. It's you're also as you're teaching your kid, you're also teaching the dog, and the dog is learning, or the cat, you know, whatever we're talking about here. You know, they're learning too. Your pets adjust to your way of life. That's what they do. Even cats, they do it. But you know, you've got to establish routine. You've got to give them boundaries. You've got to give them, you know, the things they can and can't do, and they're going to learn. They're going to mess up things. They're going to do this stuff. You know, there's a lot of work, and you're raising. Having a pet is raising a child. I mean, yeah, okay, the end games and what you're teaching might be a little different, but how they process, how they do it, how they absorb information, and there's a lot of similarities there.
Well, and and so they say, you know, there's a difference. Dogs don't go to school. They do have school for dogs. They have obedience. They have agility. They have different types of things you can enroll your dog in.
Yeah.
Which basically is like doggy college.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot cheaper than human college, but you know, and it teaches you, you know, at the same time how to talk to them, how to know if they're understanding what you're commanding. Yeah.
Because you're learning their language, they're learning your language, and that's really what it's about.
And the fun thing is, if you have, let's say you have kids, make that a family thing. I have a friend who, anytime they get a new animal, they go to one of the basic obedience classes, and she has one of her children be the handler, so that way the children learn how to handle the dog and correct the dog.
Otherwise, the handler's teaching the dog how the handler is going to, and the dog won't listen to you.
Right.
Dogs do have a loyalty thing, and they will listen to certain people and certain they won't, depending on what they think of you.
Right. So, you know, think about that. You know, make it a family thing. You know, where everybody's at the class, everybody's learning.
Sure.
And then that way, everybody knows how to communicate to the dog.
But you're also building the bond and trust between the dog and the family member, you know, or the cat and the family. A lot of people don't take cat to training. I get that, but you know what I mean. You're still training at home. You may not have, they're still learning, and that's the beauty of it, because you're also building that bond, and that's the same bond that happens that when those moments in life happen, you're like, oh my gosh, the dog did the thing, you know, and you know how that happens, because of all the training, all the bonding moments that you've created such a relationship with that dog, that dog now looks at you like it's family and will treat it like it's one of its family. And if you attack its family, it will defend it. That's what dogs do. And if you do it right, that's what you get. You get that creamy, you know, where it's the most loving thing on the planet. But if something goes down, that dog's going to be the first thing that's going to be there protecting your kids. You know what I mean? And that's and I know a lot of people like this. I got to have a guard dog, but if you're training it to be a guard dog, you're not training it correctly to do what you really want it to do.
No, my sister works from home, and somebody showed up and knocked on the door the other day, and normally all of our dogs are very friendly, docile, and whatever. Toby loves everybody. When Toby growls, it's a whole...
When E.F. Button talks, people listen. That's kind of one of those, like, if that dog growls at you...
Pretty much.
That's a red flag.
Pretty much. And she told me, she said, Toby growled and his hackles were up. And Titus, he'll growl, but if he shows all of his teeth, he means business. And so she said, Titus and Toby were both like, you're not coming in this door. And I was like, well, you don't have to worry about somebody hurting you. You've got them right there.
That's your radar.
And Titus is 160 and Toby's almost 70 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
but I will also say this. You don't need you can have a dog half that size and will be equally as loyal and equally as you don't need the 160.
Yeah, I have a 6-pound dog who's equally as vicious. She's like, I'm gonna shred your ankles.
Yeah, it's just that bond that you build with these.
And you don't have to, train them to bite, attack, or anything like that. When
that's their natural protect mode. You
when
just got to know how to.
Animal senses somebody is off, they're gonna alert you. The animals can read people. When a dog doesn't like somebody, that dog has good choice of character for good reasons.
Yeah, I'm always been. I'll trust animal intuition over mine 9 times out of 10. Almost always on some of that stuff. But then again, people that have been around animals all their life, they know that. You just understand. You get that
right,
thing, and that's what making being a pet owner is fun. So if you want all of that this Christmas, and that's your intent, then get on down here today. You got to get on the ball because we get this done. Otherwise, we'll see you in 2025. But,
pretty much, because right after Christmas is New Year's.
Yeah. Now, that being said, what about thrift store and all that? Is that going to be open here a little later and all that?
That's what I have our holiday hours. So if you need anything for Christmas for the thrift store, you have today, tomorrow, Friday, because today's not Thursday.
That's right.
Today's officially new.
Oh, it's new day. Yeah,
it is.
You got 1 hour and 30 minutes till new stuff day.
10 a.m. club.
10 a.m. club. That's
okay.
Right.
So from Wednesday through Saturday, the entire store is going to be half off.
Excellent.
On Saturday only, anything that's left Christmas trees, decorations, whatever
looks
it
like
is.
Christmas, smells like Christmas.
Is going to be 75% off.
Excellent. And by the way, before any of these sales happened, these things were already probably a third of what their value is when they were brand new and all that. And most of the stuff is brand new or like new. And so it's already deeply discounted. So when you come in, today through Friday, you're already getting 50% off on that. And then whatever's left, 75. I mean, you're literally going to walk out of with something for 50 cents probably on Saturday. However, if you're wanting good selection, you want to do all that,
be there at 10 a.m.
Be here in about an hour and 26 minutes.
Yep. So this is going to be the last week for any thrift shopping.
Okay.
This is the last week. Sorry. This week is going to be the last for any thrift shopping.
Okay.
So Saturday is going to be the last day they open until after Christmas.
Okay.
And that's going to be the same with the kennels.
Excellent. Okay.
So we will be open all this week, and then we're going to be closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after.
Okay.
So we will reopen on the 27th, both the kennels and the thrift store.
Okay.
And then for New Year's, we're going to be closed New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then reopen on the 2nd.
Okay. Yeah, and the thrift store is normally closed on Monday anyway. So
right.
It won't be open on Monday either.
No. So normally they're closed Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays for resorting.
Right.
And so after the 28th, they'll close, and then they'll be reopened on January 2nd. No, I was going to say July 2nd. I skipped a whole 6 months.
We're going to be closed for 6 months.
We're going to be closed for 6 months. No, January 2nd, correction.
Very good.
I've already started writing 2025 already, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Good for you. I'm usually that guy that's writing 2024 into February.
No. Once it comes 2025, I'm going to be like 2022, 2024. I can't get my years right.
Yeah.
So we will be closed the eves and then the days of.
Okay.
And then the day after on the 2nd, we will reopen.
Very good. So basically, they push New Stuff Day back, 2 days next week? Basically. Instead of Wednesday, it'll be Friday.
Yes.
And then on the week after, instead of Wednesday, it'll be Thursday.
Yes. And so if you need anything like last minute stuff, last minute gifts, they still have a lot of brand new stuff that's in boxes, never opened, never used, deeply discounted, like you said, and it's already going to be even more discounted.
So real great gifts that if you're and by the way, some of this stuff, like you said, hundreds of dollars, you're getting it for $30-$50 depending on what it is. You know, it's really just I don't care who you are, what your income is, what it is. Walk in there first before you go into the other places, because why would you not? You know?
We have great furniture selection. Somebody donated a 70-inch flat screen TV.
Amazing.
70-inch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my walls aren't that big.
I was gonna say, but and you probably paid what, $2,000 for that new, and you probably get it for what, a third of that at the thrift store.
I think they had it for $250.
Exactly. I think that'll get you what, about a 40-inch new one nowadays? Maybe.
Roundabout,
like a low end one, like your Vizio or one.
Roku.
Yeah, one of the ones.
TLC.
Yeah, the ones that are kind of.
I'm all the ones that are up there.
Like the ones you see in this room right now.
But they do still have quite a bit of stuff. And if you're the craft person who likes to make your wreaths, they have a lot of the plain, just the no decorated wreaths.
Okay.
So you've already got the greenery started, and you can just go in and fill it in.
Your little acorns or ribbons and bows and things that you want, or pine cones. That's what I meant. Not acorns, pine cones. That's what I meant. Yeah, that kind of stuff. You can, create your own little wreaths and do your stuff with. So if you love your craft stuff, pick up craft supplies.
They have it there.
Maybe you're done your Christmas making for 2024, but you can keep it in the, keep it in your, wherever you store your crafts. Because I know, as people that craft, my mom was one of them, you have some kind of craft closet, bin, you have some place where you keep ideas of future.
Right. You're like, at one point in time, I am going to use that.
So if you need some wreaths for maybe some ideas of future, come on down and grab.
And there's a lot of people that do wreaths that aren't just for holidays. Like Christmas, sorry.
There's spring wreaths or fall wreaths or summer wreaths. Yeah, I've seen those.
They have like the 4th of July wreaths and all of that stuff. So they're a blank canvas, and you can basically make it what you want.
Yeah, put your own stank on it. So, but again, stuffing stock up on or whatever you want to do, and I'm telling you too, if for folks, especially young folks that are just fresh out of college, fresh out of school, and you're starting your first professional careers, and you got to do a wardrobe change a little bit because you look like me most of the day, t-shirts and sweatpants. And you're like, yeah, you need something with a button up, something with a tie maybe, or a dress, something that's...
You need something a little bit more nicer.
I get it. You go into the stores, and next thing you know, holy cow, it's $400 for a suit. And that's not even like a high-end suit. That's just for like a garden variety suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a dress. You're like, well, that's a $200 dress here. And you're like, I got to buy 5 of these? And they're like, oh, man. Go to the thrift store, and you will find the same suits, the same dresses, the same business attire. That's $5, $10.
Yep.
And you can look just as professional, and you didn't spend your first 3 paychecks trying to get wardrobe before you even get your paycheck.
Right.
And
you're not in debt before you have a job.
Exactly. That's the way to go. That's how. And you know what? This is how families make it. This is a lot of young people, and you see the way in the world, like, I can't afford a house, I can't do all this. I'm like, you got to remember, you're seeing your parents and you're seeing these folks when they got successful. They've had years of jobs and promotions, and they've when they started, when they were your age now. They literally were eating ramen. They were like, if you were around, because my age, I'm like, I remember going to like your Wendy's just to get the fixins bar, what I mean? To hit the lettuce, to hit the, and certainly going to the thrift stores and buying, things that you need that are expensive, buying them secondhand. And to be honest, some of that best stuff is that way. It lasts longer sometimes. It lasts, you know what I mean? And
the little cushion is broken.
Yeah.
You got your
spot. I mean, this is how you make it. This is how you do it. And I know Christmas right now is probably, for folks that are already on a budget, this time of year just kills that budget. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know how I'm going to get the kids this and that. The thrift store can help you out with this stuff. If you're dealing with some of these things, come in for the visit. Do some shopping. Do some, get the Christmas, all the stuff you're hoping for, but you can't. You could literally get a lot of it done through thrift stores. And if you don't see what you want in the Humane Society one, I invite you to go to the Refuge's thrift store and all the other thrift stores in town too. And
there's probably a good portion of Roswell that comes in and out of thrift stores.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good portion of people that donate, and then they come in and they shop right after they donate.
Yeah.
And the majority of the stuff that I have is secondhand.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing. Absolutely
And
not.
you can use it and until it gets you by for whatever you need until.
I mean, obviously, draw the line on certain things.
Yes.
Socks, underwear. These are things you should not buy used.
I agree. I do concur.
Outfits, clothing, suits, jackets, shirts, pants, shoes, all these things. Yeah. But yeah, undergarments, buy news on that. But I get it. Especially if you use I need a suit, a funeral, wedding, I get it. And you're like, I'm not paying $500 for a suit I'm not going to probably wear again for another 10 years. Go on down to the thrift store. Probably find a suit very similar to what you're looking at, $40-$50.
Right. And then you use it, and then you can redonate it back and let somebody else get the one-time use. And
And also I get, too, that those dang suits keep shrinking on you. You buy the suit, and they can only let out so much. I've learned. And then... and you need another one. So, but if you're dealing with that kind of stuff, thrift store, got you covered. You're like, man, I need these. Like shoes. Shoes are expensive, especially dress shoes. You easily drop $100 on dress shoes,
if not more.
Yeah, easy. And that's the low end, high end. You know what I mean? They got them at the thrift store, and you probably buy $10 maybe.
I bought a pair of Michael Kors slip-on shoes at the thrift store that were never used.
Yeah,
I was like, $25.
$25. What are they? $150 probably.
Like $225.
$225. Okay, yeah. That's my point.
Now I will tell you, they are not comfortable. They were not pre-broken.
Yeah, well, that's probably what happened. They probably put them on, and these are uncomfortable, and they were worn one time for one thing. Do you have jewelry and stuff too? Like if people do jewelry and things like
they
that,
do.
Is that
they have the costume jewelry, and then anything that's not costume and more value, they have in the little display case, and you can ask for it, and they'll show you.
Yeah, readers. If you got readers in your family, great selection of books for kids, adults, everybody, and it's well organized. And it's like a library. You're like, if you want to find things, it's like a library. You can find them. You don't have to rummage through piles of books.
It is actually alphabetized like a library.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. So I invite you. Come on down. They're going to open here in about an hour and 15 minutes here. So
yeah, be part of the 10 o'clock club.
Yeah. Sorry, 10 o'clock club. If you get a few more eyeballs today, I'm sorry because I'm sure.
Bring them donuts. They'll let you in.
If you're not new to the 10 o'clock club, they do have a pecking order. Respect their pecking order and then go right in behind.
But bring donuts. They'll let you in.
Yeah. You bring gifts. Then you schmooze it, and they might even let you cut. You never know.
They might be like, oh, go ahead. Right here.
Do they have a particular...
The majority of the time, they park and sit on the pole right outside the door, and then as soon as the door opens, they just start funneling in.
They got a routine, I'm sure.
And it's like whoever gets there first gets first dibs by the door.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there. I feel like there's a hierarchy. There's an establishment. They all know each other.
Mm-hmm. Because they outside, they gaggle, they talk.
They know. And so... if you want to be new to the group, come in and bring some coffee or cocoa or some cookies or some donuts or something. Next thing you know, you're the president of the club, I'm guessing.
Right. They're gonna be like, I nominate you. I second that.
Nice donuts. You get to move up one spot in the line. Very good.
You went from treasurer to vice president.
That's right. But please utilize that. And here's the beauty of all this: every time you're in there spending money. Every dime of that goes back to those animals in that shelter and making sure that they have everything they need to find their hopefully future forever home.
And then if you have gone by any of the angel trees and taken a tag off, this is going to be the last week to drop off stuff before Christmas.
Yeah. How many are out there? Is there still some out there?
There are. Okay. Roswell Seed, Tascosa, Ace Hardware, Pioneer North. Hold on, I have to count them on my fingers. Ryan Breedike's office.
Okay.
And then we have an angel tree inside the lobby. And then South Springs Animal Hospital has our angel tags on their tree.
Excellent. If you're not familiar with the angel tree concept, it's kind of a trend during this time of year. The angel trees for the Humane Society, you come by any of those locations and you'll see a tree with like the ornamental little things. Pick it off and it's just needs of the Humane Society. And if you'd like to support the Humane Society. You can go to one of these trees and pick something up there and go purchase it and bring it to the Humane Society. That way you know that your donation will be useful, beneficial, and be exactly what the Humane Society needs, right?
Yeah, our main needs are what are on the tags right now.
Very good. Yeah, so if you'd like to, if you're thinking, well, I'd like to make it, and of course, if you don't feel like doing the trees and want to make a monetary donation, there's nothing wrong with that.
That does.
Because there is a lot of times where there's ancillary costs where you're like, oh, we're out of litter, we need to go buy a pallet of litter, or we got vet bills to pay, or we're out of food, or we're out of whatever, cleaning supplies.
Here soon we will be starting a fundraiser drive for a transportation vehicle.
Okay.
We've received a couple of grants, just not enough to cover the entire cost of it. So
and this is to funnel animals up to Albuquerque, or when they find because Roswell, we're so bad at being responsible pet owners that we are a factory for other communities to adopt animals. We actually supply animals to cities way larger than us because they don't have enough for their shelter.
Because they have better spay-neuter laws and they enforce it way better than we do.
And I'm laughing, but it's sad that we have to deal with this. And so this is the thing we have to do. So please, we got a few minutes here. It is the season. You're probably going to be out in the Walmart parking lots and see the puppy mill guy out there.
Call it in and report it.
Call and report it. Call in if you see things that are doing this stuff. And to be honest, if you aren't willing to accept that pet as a member of your family and you're willing to bring it inside at night, or treat it as a family member, if you're not willing to do all that, then maybe adopting a pet's not your thing. Yeah. Maybe find something else that you're into. But if you're not willing to, and I get it. Some people, well, I have dogs and cats, and you live out in the county, and I have a barn cat. I'm not. There's a place and time for certain things and all that. But the Humane Society, when they're adopting pets out to families, they want these pets to be forever homes. They don't want these to be barn cats and things like that. They want these cats to be indoor cats that live as part of your family. They want these dogs to have fenced-in yards that live in, that aren't,
and
loose.
if you are in need of a barn cat, we do have people that call in and say, hey, I've got a plethora. Yeah. Do you know anybody?
Sure.
So
you can make those connections.
I can.
But the animals that are calling the Humane Society home, these are all family pets. That's what they're destined to be. And so if you're not willing to make these members of your family, then maybe you shouldn't be shopping at the Humane Society. Now, at least at the thrift store, please do go shop there. But as far as shopping for pets, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. That's just my thoughts.
I agree.
Anything other than that is part of the problem what we're dealing with right now.
It is when I have to make arrangements to transport animals out of state. It's getting too bad.
Yep. And unfortunately, you get people that want to breed them and do it, and they have no earthly idea what they're doing. And that is way more harm than good. I'm not talking, breeders. There's certain folks that do that right and do everything by the book, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's so many others that just
there's too much backyard breeding.
They watch TLC for an hour, and next thing you know, they're dog breeders. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly. If you're doing it correct, permits and health tests and all of that, then sure, by all means, and do it responsibly. Don't overbreed, but if you're just, I want to get a first litter, I'm going to get beautiful puppies, that kind of nonsense.
If you're looking for a cash grab with your dog,
stop
it. And unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with a lot of. And here's the other rub. The grass isn't greener. Ain't no one paying $300 for your puppies at Walmart parking lot.
Nope.
Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do any of that. And to be honest, the people that do pay that kind of money, they're literally going out to the thing. They're seeing paperwork. It's like buying a house. It's not just going down and adopting a dog.
Right.
It's a little different process.
Yes.
There might even be insurance involved because of the numbers in which you're spending for said dog.
Right.
It's kind of, for me, it's a little over the top, but to each his own. As long as they ain't hurting the animals, I don't care.
Yeah. Just, if you're not doing it legit and you're not doing it correctly, don't be doing it.
Sure. Exactly. And unfortunately, you guys you have to pick up the pieces of when these things go wrong. And you see it on a daily basis. And that's why it's, if you can't adopt an animal, please support the Humane Society. Go to the thrift store. Come and, even if you're an animal lover, but because you live in an apartment and you can't own a dog or whatever, come volunteer. Come down and sit and meet with the animals. weather like this, we can take them on walks and stuff like this. But even when the weather's bad, even come to bring the dogs, and they can go into the meet and greet room and just roll around the floor with the dogs for a little bit. The more the dogs get to do that, the more adoptable they become. So you're doing your part to help get these animals good homes by doing it.
You are.
And it probably is good for your own mental health, too. You know, I know I feel better after having a hard day and you kind of float. You know what I mean? Playing with the dogs on the floor, you kind of put you in a better mind space sometimes.
Their tongues, their kisses, they go in places that you don't want them to. Keep mouth closed.
Yeah, you might get violated.
Keep mouth closed.
But to me, that's why I love like programs like they do at the library, where they bring like the CASA or the DA dogs down and let the kids read to them. I think that's what you're supposed to do, you know?
Right.
Because it really it's so beneficial for the kids from the reading side, but at the same time, it makes our next animal lovers too, and our next, you know, I'm gonna guess all those kids that do this, they're gonna be, you know, their families are pet owners. You know what I mean? So it's all good stuff. That's where it's at.
It really is. You know, when you expose them more and more and teach them better behaviors, it helps.
Absolutely. That being said, even though the Humane Society for adoptions will pretty much wrap up after tomorrow here. If you're talking with your family, you know, I know get family over holidays, and this is like, hey, maybe we're talking about. I do invite you to check out the website, roswellhumane.org. You can see every animal that is calling the Humane Society home right now. If there is a not available next to it, that means they're in quarantine.
Yes.
And they're in quarantine because either they're not at weight, they are awaiting vaccinations, or they're new to the facility and they want to make sure they're not going to bring anything that's going to spread to the rest of the population. So there's very reasons. It does not mean they're adopted. It just means they're not ready for public adoption.
Once they are adopted, we take them off the website.
Disappear off totally. So.
Yeah, so.
While you're there, I also invite you to become a member of the Humane Society.
Yes, new dues start 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pay now for 2025.
Yeah.
You can do it online. You can come inside the kennels and pay.
Yeah.
You can mail it in. We'll have
an excuse to come pet the dogs. Come on down and do it.
I need to go pay my dues, so I need to go take care of this. So and then you come down and you get a little kitty dog time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. They love your business, and I'm sure you'd kind of dig it too. So, but and anything and every level of membership, your pets, your kids, your mom, everybody can be members at the Humane Society at various levels. As a member, you do get, you know, there's meetings and get to say in the stuff, but really your support is your membership. You get the newsletters to stay up to date on what's going on at the Humane Society, but that your membership supports keeping that building open, making sure those pets have a warm, safe place to be until they can find their forever.
Yes,
that's what you're doing. So please consider being a member.
Yes.
Or maybe that's the Christmas gift. You want to adopt a dog? Say, I just got your membership at the Humane Society. Come on, in January we'll go find a dog. You know, maybe that's your intro to give them that you're getting.
Good idea.
Yeah. Now you're helping everybody.
Give the gift of memberships.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Is there anything we missed, Crystal?
I don't think so. I think we got it.
Good deal. Well, excellent. Well, I guess if I don't see you between now and Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Safe travels.
Yeah. And you're in town this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. I'm be at the kennels.
You can't get into trouble abroad.
Nope. I cannot get into trouble when I'm stuck in town. Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to go looking for it.
I got to ask, did John get yelled at after Monday?
Yeah.
I kind of thought. She was telling stories like, I don't know if she's going to want people hearing this stuff, but
I left. I told Melissa, really, out of all the stories from my first trip to California, that's the one you had to tell.
And I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, but I'm thinking, he's so in trouble later.
And then, not only him, but, you know, Mr. We play stupid to make y'all feel better. Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, I did let out a secret that they don't know already.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. My wife didn't say anything about that. I don't think she was listening.
Oh, I'll send her a text.
I'm about to say now she knows.
Kim, go watch Mondays.
That's all right. Well, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, you too. And
for
please,
your
anything we can do to help, let us know.
We will.
Good deal. All right, 8:55. Let's pause for news and a quick break before more news. Don't go away.
Are asking everyone to remember, take care of yourself and those around you this New Year's Eve. Please do not let bad choices ruin a happy time by causing an accident that could leave people injured or even dead. Plan ahead so you don't even face the decision to drink and drive. Schedule a designated driver or use ride-share services. And remember, buzzed driving is drunk driving. In addition to acting in a safe manner behind the wheel, people also need to remember that firing a gun is not an appropriate way to celebrate. With just a few exceptions, and celebration is not one of them, it is illegal to discharge a gun within city limits, especially. Regardless of your location, random shooting, including into the air, puts people in danger. Any bullets fired upward into the air, they must come down somewhere with potentially serious consequences. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Got an old computer just sitting around? If you're planning to sell or toss it, hold up. You have one important step to take. I'm Kim Commando for NordPass. Get 58% off right now on this easy-to-use password manager at nordpass.com/Kim. Now back to that old computer. A factory reset might seem like enough, but it's not. Hackers can still dig up personal files even after a reset. Think about everything that you've stored on that computer. Passwords, photos, banking details, work documents, and a lot more. You don't want any of that in the wrong hands. Do this before you sell or throw away that computer. Use a secure wiping tool. These programs overwrite your entire hard drive with random data, making it nearly impossible to recover anything. D-Band Derek's Boot and Nuke is 100% free and works great. Just download the tool, put it on a thumb drive, boot your computer, and then wipe the drive. It's the best way to make sure that your private info is truly erased. The program again, D-Band. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. Are you sick and tired of passwords just driving you crazy? Every account you have really needs a different one. Uppercase letters, lowercase letters, symbols, and it has to be 12 or more characters. Enough already. NordPass is here to end the madness for good. You're gonna love this. You can forget juggling dozens or even hundreds of passwords. You only need to remember one password. That's it. NordPass remembers and autofills all your passwords, credit card, and personal information details so that you can focus only on what matters most. I love all the extra features, such as the data breach scanner that lets you know if your credentials were exposed in a data leak. Your passwords will be stored securely because NordPass uses the strongest military-grade encryption, making it impossible for hackers to crack your credentials. Go to nordpass.com/Kim for 58% off today. That's nordpass.com/Kim, nordpass.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds, our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. The Roswell Coyotes boys basketball team were busy in Clovis over the past weekend at the Clovis Holiday Tournament, losing on Friday in the semifinals by a score of 91-65. That was to Volcano Vista. But Roswell bounces back to beat Melrose 69-68. You won't see that meeting very often, but Roswell does win it to move to 6-2 on the season. By the way, that was Melrose's first loss, in case you think they weren't a very good small school team. They are. Goddard, meanwhile, on Friday night takes on a smaller school as well, beating Dexter 63-40. The Rockets are 3-3 overall. And also on Friday, Hagerman knocks off Grady 57-21 in boys hoops. The Bobcats are 5-3, and Gateway Christian defeats Tatum 61-45. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Sales rose this year during the holiday shopping season, even as Americans wrestled with elevated prices for many groceries and other necessities, according to new data. Holiday sales from the beginning of November through Christmas Eve rose 3.8%, outpacing the 3.1% increase from a year earlier. That's according to MasterCard's Spending Pulse. The number of Americans filing new applications for jobless benefits dipped to the lowest in a month last week, consistent with a cooling but still healthy U.S. labor market that is likely to keep the Federal Reserve officials from cutting interest rates any further in the near term. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. rose for the second week in a row to its highest level since mid-July. The rates rose to 6.85% from 6.72% last week. Japan Airlines reports its systems have returned to normal following a cyber attack that disrupted domestic and international flights earlier in the day. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Bring in the new year with Mark Chestnut, Tuesday, December 31st from 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club.
Oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. I should have been that and she'd never left.
Say so long to 2024 and welcome in the new year with drinks, food, and friends beginning at 6 p.m. General admission is $100. Kids admission is only $20. Dinner at the Country Club and the concert is $250, or upgrade to a VIP table for 6 for $5,000 with only 4 tables left. VIP includes a private and intimate dinner with Mark Chestnut from 7 to 9 p.m., with the concert beginning at 10 p.m. All proceeds to benefit the Pena Project, helping to cover funerals and end-of-life costs for unexpected situations. Get tickets and learn more at thepenaproject.org. Celebrate the new year with Mark Chestnut.
Bubba shot the jukebox last night. Said it played a sad song, it made him cry.
Tuesday, December 31st, 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Get tickets and more info at thepenaproject.org.
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most love rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
Bring in the new year with Mark Chestnut, Tuesday, December 31st from 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
Kazakhstan, killing 38 people, may have been a victim of the war in Ukraine, specifically of Russian air defenses. That's the conclusion of aviation experts, former U.S. Air Force investigator Alan Deal among them.
Extensive shrapnel damage, the physical evidence there at the Kazakhstan airport strongly suggests that this aircraft was hit by some kind of anti-aircraft weapon.
The plane was bound for the Russian city of Grozny when it crashed, triggering speculation that Russian anti-aircraft fire downed the plane. A couple of top Canadian cabinet ministers are in Palm Beach for talks with members of the incoming Trump administration. The meetings, focusing on border security and trade, follow Mr. Trump's threat to impose tariffs on all Canadian products unless there's action on those issues. After enduring several days of Houthi missile attacks, Israel has had enough. The Jewish state has been striking back.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the Israeli Air Force had struck Houthi targets in Yemen. A little while ago, the Air Force attacked targets of the Houthi terrorist organization in Yemen, both on the coastline and in Sana'a. We are determined to root out this terrorist arm of Iran's axis of evil. We will persist in this until we complete the job. I'm Rika Ann Garcia.
Parts of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas are on guard for the possibility of severe weather. Powerful thunderstorms firing up, spawning high winds, hail, the possibility of tornadoes. In the past 24 hours, there were numerous flight delays and cancellations at airports in Dallas and Houston. On Wall Street this morning, stocks are in the red. The Dow is down 142 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index off 284, and the S&P trading 49 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
In Australia, tragedy mars the Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
The two sailors who died were on different boats off eastern Australia when they were both hit by a boom, the large pole that's attached to the bottom of a sail. Organisers of the Sydney to Hobart race that began on Thursday said conditions were challenging but not excessive. But more than a dozen vessels out of a total of more than 100 have already retired from the event due to bad weather. The Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said it was heartbreaking that 2 lives had been lost at what should be a time of joy.
The BBC's Phil Mercer. The political turmoil deepens in South Korea, where the opposition-dominated National Assembly has voted to impeach acting President Han Duck-soo. Governing party lawmakers boycotted the vote. Han, who's also the country's prime minister, has been acting leader after President Yoon was impeached. Townhall.com. The FDA is thinking about requiring cosmetic companies to take the extra step to make sure that any products that contain talc are asbestos-free.
The rule follows years of lawsuits against Johnson & Johnson and other companies alleging links between talc-based baby powder and cancer. Talc is a mineral used to absorb moisture or improve texture, feel, and color of cosmetics. It's mined from underground deposits that are sometimes located near the toxic mineral asbestos. The risk of cross-contamination has long been recognized by cosmetic companies. Despite the lawsuits, research has found mixed evidence of a potential link between cancer and talc. The FDA says that since 2021, laboratory analysis of more than 100 cosmetic samples has come back negative for asbestos. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And again on Wall Street, stocks have been sinking this morning. The Nasdaq now down close to 2%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And welcome to hour number 2 of a Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. We made it through another long work week. Seems like this week flew by as far as the work days go. The holidays are behind us. I watched a video over the week or over the break of the best things. It feels like a weekend of the best things to buy right now, and Christmas trees are the number one thing to invest in right now because you're going to get the best deals of the year on your Christmas trees for next holiday season.
Like an actual Christmas tree?
Like a tree.
Like a fir?
Well, like not a live tree, obviously, but like your artificial trees.
Okay.
I saw an ad for like a 6.5-inch flocked Douglas fir imitation tree, and it was like $46, regularly $135. I'm like, that's next to nothing. So yeah, if you're going to shop for Christmas stuff, now's the time to do so. There's also a huge surplus of toys at the department store, so if you're looking to get maybe some belated Christmas presents or something of that nature, you definitely waited for the right time, because now is the time when you're going to save the most money.
I'm kind of like, I don't really like the whole week after Christmas.
Yeah.
Between, like, the fact that we get a week between Christmas and New Year's is so, like, off-putting to me.
It's a lull. It's a lull, but there is, I mean, luckily this year the weekend falls between it, so we kind of feel like we have a little bit of a break. Like, I did notice people aren't, going around saying Happy Holidays anymore. We're burnt out, like, Merry Christmases. And it's too early to say Happy New Year, so we've hit that little window where right between the holidays, we're just going to say have a good day.
Right. It's too fast. It comes too quickly to celebrate Christmas anymore afterwards, because you're already looking forward to New Year's.
Right.
But it's not long enough for you to, to keep celebrating Christmas and keep,
You can't keep the spirit alive for an entire calendar week. Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah,
I mean, my kidneys can't take that. My liver can't stand it. We need a break.
Right.
Drink some water.
Like, at least give me like 2 weeks or something before I get
exactly.
prepare for the new year.
When I sip, you're supposed to keep talking.
And all the people trying to desperately kill us by firing their bullets in the sky.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Jared Cirillo's whole last hour's last report was basically a PSA. Designated driver or a skipper if you're heading out to the water, and don't shoot your guns in the air. It seems like a very simple idea. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Stop firing your guns in the air because it's dangerous. What goes up must come down.
Yes.
At terminal velocity, no less. Now, even though, I will say Mythbusters did prove that a falling bullet can't fall at gunshot speed or at a speed enough to hurt, kill someone.
Oh, okay.
It ain't great. If you ever had like a falling chunk of lead falling through the sky at 30 feet per second it's gaining, it's going to be going pretty fast. It's still going to sting.
Yeah, I always thought it was faster. Like, that was always the myth to me, was that it falls even faster coming down than it does going up.
It's too early to math, but I thought it was 30 feet per second of falling.
Yeah.
You fall 30 feet faster.
I don't know any of the numbers.
My math ain't mathing this morning. It's the holidays. My brain's taking it off. But
this is like middle school, like rumors and stuff.
Regardless, don't shoot your guns into the sky, please. Please. If you want to shoot something off, go get one of those confetti poppers. Those things are fun.
Or fireworks.
Yeah,
Even fireworks.
Well, fireworks, fine, but if you're going to be within city limits, you have to maintain city laws, rules, and regulations.
Sure.
It's funny, every year around this time, they always, in my park, they pass out the obligatory fireworks are not permitted anywhere on these grounds. It's like, y'all, I've lived here for a half decade. You know I'm not a fireworks guy. I never have been. I barely go to the shows. It's 2024. I think we're past Skyfire. We got drones that can put on shows and stuff now. I mean, fireworks are great. They're fine, but I've never been that guy that's like, all right, let's go get us $187 worth of crap that we're going to burn through in one night and leave a gigantic mess on the road right in front of our house.
Sure.
It's going to stay there for 2 weeks until it rains real nice. Everything's just going to be spread cardboard everywhere.
I'm just saying, it's wintertime, so it's, the fire hazard isn't exactly a thing to worry about.
Are you kidding?
When it comes to
everything's dry right now. It's brittle and dry. Yeah, now fire hazard is high. I mean, I'm not thinking that it's going to just powder keg or anything, but all of our wood is dry and brittle because it's dying. So I would think it's
Well, I wouldn't say during the nighttime. Like during the nighttime, that's when the things like the dew comes out and stuff. And,
the views expressed by Roy do not reflect those of Pecos Valley Broadcasting Corporation and staff or management. Just please be careful. Exercise caution. If you're going to celebrate, sure, you can do so with fireworks. Go outside the city limits. Pop off a few, aerial balls or whatever. I heard something in the news just a second ago that it kind of caught my ear.
Yeah.
They were talking about talcum powder, and how it's mined underground, which I honestly just thought it was manufactured. I didn't know that they mined talcum powder, but it's mined underground in areas that are known to be close to asbestos, or like areas where asbestos is formed. And so there's been a whole thing with talcum powder or talc in women's cosmetics causing, or bringing asbestos with mesothelioma and all kinds of different cancers. How is this still in the news? I thought that they pulled talcum powder from store shelves like half a decade ago. Didn't they?
Yeah, or at least a couple of years ago.
There have been class action lawsuits about if you or someone you know used talcum powder, Johnson & Johnson, baby powder with talcum, you could make money.
I don't know. People are stubborn, man. People are.
I honestly thought it was pulled. Is it like raw milk? People are like, no, I gotta have my talc. It's the only thing that keeps me me.
I mean, when I went to high school here at Goddard High, I will call them out. They had an asbestos problem during my time of going there.
I'm assuming that's been fixed, but yeah, it wasn't as
So now I'm immune to asbestos.
Is that how that works? You're either immune to it or you develop superpowers.
Or I get mesothelioma at age 50.
Yeah. I'd lean towards the latter. But let's see, you graduated in what, 08?
11.
Oh, 2011. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's been.
But it was around that time, like 08. Yeah.
I'm sure it's been remedied in the years since then, I would hope. But yeah, they did run a, independent study of like 400 different cosmetic products, and they didn't find asbestos in any of them. But still, I didn't even know talcum was still a thing in products, in like powder. I thought they pulled it off store shelves completely. But
what is it doing exactly? It's just asbestos?
It's talcum is supposed, it's used to like smooth. It's it's all the things that baby powder does. It dries, it soothes skin supposedly, but also could have asbestos in it and give you.
Is that the same thing as like Gold Bond body powder?
I don't think so. I think those are different kinds of powder. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But products with talc in it, like baby powder specifically, all those products had to be pulled from the shelves and re-engineered to be re-released without talc. I don't have access to the chat right now. Maybe somebody in the chat could pop in and educate me, because I'm a dumb man. If somebody wants to woman-splain to me what talcum's still doing,
now streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Join the chat.
Yeah, help us out.
Like and subscribe.
Please do. Leave a comment and let me know why talcum powder is still a thing. I genuinely want to know. Hey, let's give you the rundown for this hour of the program. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot. He came in, as he always does, with great advice for you first-time or long-time home buyers out there. We could all use a little bit of advice in our everyday life, and he's got it for you. So we'll play that interview for you coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus all your other hourly features that include your Pecos Valley News Update, Travis County Sports Report, the Red Apple Business Update, and whatever else comes our way. Right now, it's 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let us get you, as soon as I get this thing happening, up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds, our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, get this refreshed over here. Here we go. 43 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is about 51%. Winds are calm at the moment. The barometer is at 29.93 with a dew point of 26 degrees for you seafaring folk out there. Real nice day. Shaping up to be a beautiful day around Roswell Way. Mostly sunny. High of around 68 degrees. Yeah, it is officially winter season and we got highs in the upper 60s. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south later in the day. For tonight, partly cloudy, dropping down to an overnight low of around 40 degrees. Winds out of the west 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to between 15 to 20 miles an hour after midnight. The winds could gust as high as 30 miles an hour tonight. Saturday, we're looking at sunny skies and 70 degrees for the high. It only gets warmer from here, folks. 73 on Sunday, 75 on Monday, all with sunny skies. But then a big dip on Tuesday, 55 degrees for the high on Tuesday with mostly sunny skies. Then for your first day of 2025, mostly sunny, a high of 53 degrees. So going to be hovering into the springtime almost conditions until that big dip on New Year's Eve that should make the last day of 2024 just a little bit chillier. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple bills, and after these, our interview with Elliot Rodriguez on the other side of these on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Registration for the spring semester is on now at ENMU Roswell. A great career in healthcare, arts and sciences, or technical trades is waiting for you. Now's the time to skill up and get certified. Register today for spring 2025 classes and talk with an advisor. Log on to roswell.enmu.edu. ENMU Roswell, success starts here.
Success starts here. ENMU Roswell.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Roswell.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah, how?
And Happy New Year.
Are you? You got any family in town, or are you just gonna just?
The wife and I, we're gonna relax this time.
Have a nice,
no traveling,
Christmas.
no nothing. You know,
nice family Christmas with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
She said, I got a list to do things at home.
Oh, she got a honey-do list.
Oh, heck yeah.
What's the dinner deal? Like, do you have a traditional Christmas dinner, or do you do a certain?
Do you know, she said something about doing, oh my God, the ones with the chips and hamburger meat. What's it called?
Like a.
And she just told me yesterday too.
Like a not nachos or something.
No, not nachos. The little chip, the corn chips. It's gonna come into me in a minute.
Yeah,
so.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Frito pie.
Frito pie?
It's a Frito pie
with the Fritos and the.
Oh, I can't even remember now, dude. She's gonna be mad at me. It's like, you can't even remember something I tell you yesterday. I got a lot of things in my head. That's probably why.
Yeah. That will haunt you, I guarantee you. But it sounds like just a quiet Christmas.
Frito pie.
Frito pie.
There you go. There you go. I know it will come back to me. No, staying here in Roswell, not traveling this time or nothing. So.
Well, good. But good news, I guess, if you're trying to button up a deal or whatever, need to get
we can still get you
the
in.
Finances, those finances procured for your home. That's what Elliot does. If you're not familiar, I should do our intro of Elliot. Elliot Rodriguez with Lone Depot. Elliot is the person that you talk to when you're interested in buying a home, whether it's your first one, your fifth one, or whatever. Elliot's the guy you talk to first to see exactly how much of a home you qualify for.
Correct.
And so if you're so you need to talk to Elliot first before you talk to any real estate agent, because the real estate agent, you go in there and you're like, you want a home? I like this one. I like, that's a $400,000 home. And then you go talk to Elliot and you're only qualified for half that. And then that's a problem. So then you talk to Elliot. Now, okay, look, I got you $200,000, let your real estate agent go work, say, hey, this is the numbers, and let them go work for you.
Yeah, you could go out there and lock and load and know what you can afford.
Absolutely.
It's very important, folks, because let's be honest, as much as I need those real estate agents to help us, if you go out there and make them run all over the place and you're not qualified, it's the two things that you do lose. You get discouraged, and then you're losing your agent because you're making them spend their time and they're not able to do nothing for you.
And they, your agents, they will go through the nth degree. A lot of your loan folks will do too if you, but time is money for these folks, and if they're closing, and a real estate agent, generally, especially the ones that are making big bucks. They probably got 3 or 4 deals going on right now, and it's all, they don't. If you're going to waste that time, they are going to move on to things that are more beneficial to their bottom line.
I was looking at it this way. I mean, I feel bad for agents sometimes because they really, people go jumping back and forth, and the poor people start showing houses. Now things are changing because they have to do a real estate contract from now on. So rules have changed. In that way, customers don't jump all over the place. The problem with jumping all over the place and what I mean, folks, is going from one agent to another. You got that person that shows you 5 houses, and then you jump into somebody else that maybe show you 1, and that other person that invested in you, literally, is basically left behind. Which is not fair. You know what I mean?
Well, and at the end of the day, what if you end up buying something that first agent was the one who really introduced you to, showed you
exactly.
to, and now they're not getting what their earned commission should be on that.
In a sense, it's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, folks out there that are listening, it's like if you were to go to work and your boss push you to do different things, and you're not getting paid the hours that you were getting paid, that you were working on those things. I mean, think about it that way, because those poor guys and ladies that are out there trying to do these things for you guys.
You want to be compensated for your work? So do they.
I always said it like I might put even more hours than a lot of them, but I had to give it to them because in the end of the day, folks, the reason I'm doing loans because if I have 2 offices, one at home and one at the office, actually 3 because I have my phone too. So
the car is the
car is everywhere I go. The fact of the matter is I had to give it to them because they're the ones that go out there. I might be working on an evening and a Saturday, Sunday, or whatever, but I'm at home. These folks go out there and show you houses after hours on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, I even heard, seen it on holidays, Oh,
yeah.
So you have to give it to them, okay? And
I imagine there'll be a few out driving around Christmas Eve looking at
Oh, you ain't kidding me, So my wife says, you better not answer your phone on Christmas Day. It's like, okay.
Yeah, when people have free time, that's when your industry's busy.
That's just a fact. The difference with me is that there's so many customers that for me to deliver, I had to do a lot more hours than probably most jobs. But
and then and a lot of your work happens after hours, but the information you need, you have to get during business hours.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
All the time.
Because every time people need credit reports or whatever statements or billing thing.
If you see my emails, oh my goodness, it's the craziest. It's the craziest. Like I was like talking to my assistant and my guys, and like about emails. Like, what are you talking about? I get emails from you. I get emails from you. I get emails from her. I get emails from people, from my boss. You name it. So yeah, it's something that it doesn't end. It's like a continuous crazy cycle.
Sure.
But I guess I'm crazy enough that I don't mind it, right? Because I'm doing it. No, but you know what? Because I love helping people buy houses. I think it's the craziest and awesome thing that I can ever do. For the longest time when I was younger and everything, I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I was going to school to become a psychologist, okay? And I was going to be a doctor and this and that. So I was going to mess up with people's head, guys. I guess I can mess up with you guys' head in a different way now. But my point is, I wanted to help people either way.
Sure.
Then I joined the Army, did a bunch of different things, and I've been blessed that I have a spectrum.
You went and did life.
Well, yeah, I have a spectrum of all kinds of different, experiences that have made me what today I'm. So, which is really cool because, I love driving through town. It's like I help somebody buy that house. I help somebody buy that house. Well, it's the coolest thing.
You've had the foot in the world of everybody, and probably a lot of your customers. Like your time in the military. I don't care what anybody says. You're a E1, 2, or 3 in the United States Armed Forces. I don't care what branch it is. You broke. Broke or in trouble because you've spent way too much money that you were supposed to.
You in line because let me tell you something. When I was an emancipated minor. If folks out there don't know what that means, it means I went on my own before I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And in other words, I was going to school and I was working. Yeah. All right. So, and the government wasn't giving me money or nothing like that. So there was nothing given to me, which it was probably some many ways the best thing that could ever happen to me as a young individual, because it pushed me to excel myself and do more for myself.
Sure.
You know?
Well, granted, you're young and military, and granted, yes, most of the time you don't pay for food, you don't pay for lodging, you don't pay for so.
Well, we're paying because we.
I mean, you pay, but you know what I mean. You don't have to go and fork over some money for it.
No, I know.
You paying?
We're paying, but it's a different kind of pay, folks.
But and then you get your check, and I think the first time it's like $1,000 for a month, and I hope it's a little more now. That was in the 1990s.
No, you know what? Okay, so since I'm a financial guy now, and I help people buy houses, I help a handful of soldiers, okay? Because I'm VA basically certified. I do renovation certified.
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that I do that I see, and I have seen some of my fellow soldiers, brothers and sisters out there. Yeah, it has changed, but also the cost of living also have changed too.
That's true too.
Okay, so I mean, what you and I were making when we were E1s and stuff like that is a big difference from what E1 makes today.
But you could go down to McDonald's for $3 and get fed. Now you can look at fries for $3 or something.
Right? It's no more like it used to be.
This is true. These are true statements.
Where's the dollar menu? There's no dollar menu almost anymore.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
No, I mean the part that is being awesome. God had given me this opportunity to help a lot of people. So it's been such a interesting and fabulous, crazy. I mean, I could come up with all the words that I can come up with. Experience, folks. If you're looking for somebody to help you buy a house, I'm going to say just out loud, just the way I say it, come to me. I will take care of you.
Sure.
I look at people not as a number, but as a person, okay? And I want to help everybody that I can help. I don't care how big or small the loan is. If I can help you, I will help you. My staff, I'm preaching that to them, and they're living the same thing. So I'm working on the next generation that is happening right now.
And it's coming, like you said, a statement there, and this is where I think maybe phone is, like you said, you look at the people, not the numbers. And this is where you're that Sherpa, because the system of which you have to work and operate in looks at the number, not the people.
I know, and that's tough. Dude.
And so you're able to match the people to the number. And if you can't get the numbers to match the people, then you work with them. And you say, all right, I can't do this. Come see me in 3 months or 6 months. We do this, this, and this, and now the numbers match what we're trying to do.
So in my business, there's no guarantees, of course, okay? But one guarantee I can give you to each of any person that comes to me, I will give you my word that me and my staff will do everything in our power to take care of you and get you a home.
Sure.
Can I get you a home today? Can I get you a home tomorrow? Or can I get you a home next week or next year? I will get you a home. You follow my lead. You do what I ask you to do. As long as I'm not breaking the law, doing something crazy, okay? You never have to worry about it, okay? Because I will give you my word, and that is a guarantee from me that if you do what I ask you, depending on the time, I will promise you that you will get your home.
Sure. And here's the thing is what he's telling you and what he's doing, yes, the end game here is to get you in a house, but if you're following it, you're going to find that pretty much all your financial world stuff's going to start lining up. Your bills are getting paid.
And it's so true. It's very true.
And that's really the key. If you're setting up your budget to afford the house to get the credit, if you keep that step, you're going to find out, oh my gosh, now I can afford the house and keep growing and doing from this, and then oh, by the way, I can actually now put some money in savings and start doing these things. It's the plan.
And folks, I'm not here to judge anybody on what you did yesterday, you did 2 years ago, you did 10 years ago. I'm here to help you today. All right. I'm here to give you some guidelines and give you some leads. So how to do things and make it better for yourself.
Sure.
The fact of the matter is everybody needs a place to live. You're either renting or living with some kind of relative, a friend, whatever. But you need a place to live.
Sure.
And if you're paying rent, for God's sake, you're already doing it. Now all we have to do is find a way to get you have your own home. So that way, you are investing in yourself, not investing in somebody else.
So that rent check is going back into your own, and you're building equity.
Exactly.
And that your first house, which is probably not your nicest house, will be a lot nicer 5 years now when you got an extra 20, 50 grand or however sitting there ready for you to push that towards that next house.
One of the things that I love the most is when somebody called me, hey, how you doing, Elliot? And it's funny because you remember Cheers. Everybody want to go where everybody knows your name.
Right.
Okay. Folks, if you've never seen that, go and look it up in Google and go and watch one of those episodes. The point is, you go to a place that people know you. And why am I saying this? It's very simple. If you did business with me, your name is in my phone. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't erase. Okay. I mean, unless you did something really bad to me, I guess. No. So far,
or his wife throws his phone in the toilet or something.
Or somebody tripped my life. No, so far so good. I think most of my customers, I love them all, and hopefully they love me back just the same. My point is, I have your number. So when you call, unless you change your name, your telephone number, or you got remarried or something,
unless you disconnect the relationship.
Or something.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, it's funny when somebody calls me, and I have the number, and I say, "How you doing, Bill? How you doing, Miguel? How you doing, Victor? How you doing, David?" Oh, hi, Elliot. Well, you thought I erased your name? No, it's still on my phone.
Sure.
I don't bother people, okay? And a lot of people will tell me, well, you're being a little naive. The fact of the matter is my system does send stuff to people automatically anyway, but I don't like to bother people.
Sure.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the best, okay, thing that anybody can do, and, give me, what do you call it, what I'm looking for. The best thing I can hear from anybody is that they send me their brother, sister, or friend, because it's the best thing they ever can do for me. Because a referral to me is valuable.
Well, you did right by them, and now they're saying, you know what, my people I respect, I want you to do the same for them.
But it's even more to me when they call me again.
Yeah.
Not because I was bothering them, but because they're like, Elliot, I'm about to move and buy a bigger house, and such, this, and that. They're like, can you help me?
Yeah, it's that same mindset where I'm not selling you this house or getting you qualified for this house. I'm getting you, setting the table where I can help you wherever you're living. I had a hand in helping you get into that home.
I just closed a deal last month, and it's very funny. They're moving to Las Cruces. They got better jobs and everything. They're married now. I mean, their family's growing, and they're selling their house here. So the agent that's selling the house here knew that I helped them before. We haven't talked for a few, and they actually, whoever was helping them in Las Cruces, obviously sent them to a different lender. That fell completely apart. They were not very happy. And the agent that is helping them sell the house here is like, why you don't call your lender from before? I mean, do you know how powerful that is? And I know, the wife and him were like, yeah, let's call Elliot. And when the agent tell him, yeah, call your lender, and one-on-one got together as two, and now they got a home in Las Cruces. And they're like telling me how everything fell apart, how everything was bad. And I made it to the point that they bought another house.
That's great.
And I mean, and this is the part that I look at it. I don't know what's happening in the market as far as my competitors, but the only thing I can say is when you deal with people and you care about what you do, it's not a task that is hard. Okay? And folks, don't think I'm not saying my job is not easy. It's easy. It's not easy at all. It's very, very difficult. What I mean is when you have done some of the things that I've done and the experiences that I have put together all this year, and folks, I'm talking about from when I was in the military, when I was in high school, when I was selling vacuum cleaners, okay, when I was in banking, all right, when I was in business banking, all these things, okay, and lending in Colorado Springs and all that stuff, it has put together this little knowledge in this head.
Sure. It's
that
life experiences.
You cannot teach that. This happens little by little. God makes people who they are, okay? God give us all the experiences, all these things that happen in life to make us who we are. Do we choose to be the best we can be? And do we raise up to the top to try to become better? That's everybody's, question and everybody's answers to themselves.
Absolutely.
My goal is to be the lender of choice, and my team be the lender of choice to take care of everybody in the whole state of New Mexico. Well, obviously, I'm here, folks, so I'm yours. I'm from Roswell, so, hey, here's where I am. I drink the water, so.
Yeah.
And I go anyway. But we do value everything that we do for our customers because in the end of the day, folks, the doors are open because of you.
Absolutely.
The door's not open because Elliot sounds good and Elliot likes to pay the bills. It doesn't work that way. It's because of you guys, and you guys make us be who we are at the same time. And I love doing that every single day. I know we went through really hard times, especially the past few months behind with the floods and everything. And I want to bring that up to the table for a second because a lot of people out there still need help. I didn't went on saying anything about 203Ks, renovation loans, because I didn't want to sound like I was some kind of person, like something bad happened, so now you wanted to take advantage of it. But the people that are out there that still need help, okay, we can do what is called a 203K renovation refi, and we can help you fix your house and bring it back to normal. Okay, folks. So don't call me, and I'll tell you all about it. We also have a 203K disaster, program as well that helps you and give you more benefits as well too. And that goes from not only owning a home. If you were living and renting a place and and nobody has been able to help you and you're still struggling, we have that program to help you go and purchase a home, okay? A lot easier, than when you were doing it as a normal loan.
Excellent.
Okay?
So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and I haven't put it out there like I wanted to at first, because I wanted to, people know that we can do the 203Ks, but I figured let's end the year because I know a lot of people still need help, and I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. It's called 203K, all right? And it's an FHA approach, and folks, you can fix your home. You could literally turn down your house from the bottom up to and rebuild the whole entire house if you need to. Okay. So, and obviously, that is not the case for many situations, but so it'll be even easier to be able to happen. Obviously, you still have to qualify just the same, but with the disaster behind the 203K, it makes it a little easier for you to be able to qualify as well. Okay. So that's another thing. And folks, me and Mike talks about this all the time. A lot of people tell people, no, you cannot qualify for this. You cannot buy a house. You don't do this and this. I just closed this morning before I came here today a renovation loan by HUD, and some of my competitors say, no, you cannot do this. And it's so funny because I cannot say the name, but the buyer this morning, such and such said I cannot do it. They're like, well, and Ellie said, oh, we'll find a way, we'll get it done. No worries. And here we are closing, and she's buying her house because she was stubborn. She wanted to buy that house, and sometimes it's like that. All people need is somebody to listen to them and somebody to really, truly uncover every stone to really help them. And let's be honest. You and I know this. When somebody get it in their head, this is what they want. That's what they want. It's not my job to deviate you that that's not what you want. So my job is to give you the tools, give you the direction, and make that accomplishment happen for you. Yeah. So I don't take dreams away from people. I give the dream. I'm helping to make that dream happen. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. And where you do get in, it's like saying, this, and it's really sometimes it's asking those questions. It's like, what do you want in life and what are you happy?
Exactly.
What are you defining success? And if you're defining this as success, what are you doing currently in your lifestyle to go that way? And it looks like there's a lot of things that we can eliminate to do that. And it's up to you. But I'm telling you, if you do this, I can get you here if that's where you want to be. But if that's not where you're at, fine, you can keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's ultimately on you, but that's kind of, you, the person, if you want to go. And this is why I keep saying things like, yes, you could literally have an hourly wage salary working at a fast food restaurant.
You just have to figure it out.
Working your 40 hours or wherever it is. And you know what? We can put you in a home. It can be done. Now, like I said, yes, we're going to have to get, it's just about what you do with your money. What is it? Where you can save it? What are you spending it on? What are your bills on? I get certain things in life. You got to have your phone. You got to have a place to live. But how much do you spend on entertainment? How much do you spend on just coffee and things like that? How many streaming services do you have?
Exactly.
And I get you got to get plugged in. But if you're dropping $50 or $80 a month on streaming services and another 20, that adds up quickly. And I ain't going to lie, there's a lot of free stuff on there now. And I know I'm a 50-year-old man and all that, but you can get a lot of free streaming stuff.
Well, if you do the right thing,
fine,
you could do, I mean,
granted, you're not going to get the latest Yellowstone or the latest whatever is out there now.
I don't know. Call me if you want to do that.
And you might know a guy, but I'm not saying that.
You might know a guy, we know a guy.
But I'm just saying there's options. You know what I mean? There's ways to do this.
Things have changed, okay, in such a way that right now, today, you cannot do the cry wolf stuff like, oh, I cannot do it. You just have to stand up, step it forward, and say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing.
And credit, and how credit's established and how it's determined and what your score is good, it's night and day different than your daddy's, the way it was done, and everything else.
Let me tell you, folks, if you don't have credit score, it's not as bad as a lot of people think that you cannot buy a house. Come and talk to me. I'll tell you how to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to have credit to be able to buy a house, but you do have to qualify in many other things to be able to buy a house. And I do have the tools to do that just the same.
Bad credit is tricky to get a house.
Now,
but you can do it.
bad credit is my enemy.
Yeah.
There's still ways to work around that, but
Yeah, we can get, if you have no credit, we can get the credit established.
Exactly,
It's
that's my
the
whole
bad
point.
credit that's the hurdle here. You know.
And folks, if you have bad credit, don't be ashamed. I've been there, done that, have the T-shirt. So
Sure.
it happens to everybody. I'm here not to judge you, but to help you and give you the tools to help
Sure.
you step up forward and do better for yourself.
And let's face it, you know, and I'm seeing the times, we're pretty to wrap it up, but let's face it, if you don't know, you don't know. And if no one's taught you or if no one said, and so that's, I know sometimes there's this, well, I should know about these kind of things. And it's like, but if your parents didn't know or no one sat down and talked to you about it, how are you supposed to?
Yeah, you're not going to know.
You know, unless you, and to be honest, you're like, well, you can get on the internet, but what are you looking for? Do you know what to look for? I mean, do you know, how do I buy a house? I guess you can start there, but I mean, and then you start getting in the weeds when they start throwing out all kinds of acronyms at you. It's like, so that's why Elliot loves to sit down with folks and educate and get them understanding how the game works.
I tell my guys, you know, and they laugh at me because they look at me all weird, like I feel like I'm talking to the grasshopper and I'm and I'm the priest, you know, to like, and they're trying to teach you how to, you know, what's on, what's up kind of deal with, like, you know, hey, by the way, Karate Kid new stuff is coming up too. I saw that.
I think they have one more episode. I've watched. I'm all the way up to they got one more thing they're going to hit us with at some point.
Crazy.
But yeah, I'm waiting on that.
So, folks, my guys, I always teach them that, you know, knowledge is power, and this is a lot of people. I tell people my guys are better than me, and people say, "But how is that possible?" You know why it's possible? Because they got their own knowledge, and they still have me behind them too.
Sure.
So the point of the whole matter and what I'm trying to say here, it's not only Elliot by itself. Right now, I'm three. It's three of us. That means we can accomplish and help a lot more people. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so folks, if you've been thinking about buying a home, don't be afraid of it. Okay. And if you cannot buy a house right now, I'll give you the footprint of what you need to do. So don't worry about that stuff. Okay.
The conversation can be had today.
You know, I'll have a bigger smile. I got literally like 1,200 applications in my system. I got about 300 people that are trying to buy houses. I got 500 people that are pre-approved and sure we're going to move forward. It's a matter of them making the decision and do what they need to do. I'm here to help everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care how big the loan is or how small it is.
Sure.
We are here to help you.
And the ball's in your court.
Exactly.
When you're ready to make that time. Now, there are always things in the world that might behoove you to take more of, you know, when interest rates change or something's like, you know,
and interest rates are getting better, but it's going to take longer than what a lot of people are, you know, estimating and hoping, okay? And the Feds are not going to do another 1%. Now there's a talk of 0.5 point drop first. You cannot change the system too fast because just like anything can explode, it also can implode too, okay? So you cannot do it fast enough.
It's like science or anything else. You raise the temperature too quick or lower it too quick, and that can create explosions or other issues in the financial world.
It's the same thing.
You know, if you don't gradually, you know, it's kind of like, you know, a drug addict, you know, you don't cold turkey on some certain drugs. You got to wean them. You got to slow it down and wean them
cold
off.
Turkey is not such a fun thing
you
to
know,
do.
it just depends on, but this is kind of what it is.
Same idea.
Same concept. But if you need to get a hold of Elliot here, and after listening to us here and saying, you know, maybe it's time for me to talk to Elliot here, you can call him direct on his cell at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can always visit his new office right here in Roswell 204 West 2nd, suite number 5. Just right kind of over that way.
right across the police station. If you were ever in trouble, at least you know where it is.
Yeah. Not too far from the place where my wife has to go to get her pants altered and all that stuff.
There you go. That's right. They open a new office.
Yeah, right there. That's where we go to get our pants altered.
If you leave the parking lot, you just go across Richardson and you go into my parking lot.
There you go. Exactly.
Simple.
So you can come on by 204 West 2nd, or you can call the office at the 505-445-2070. And then you can, of course, go online. He has a website, and you can go to loandepot.com, www.loandepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, all one word, all lowercase, one L in Elliot, and then the Z on the end of Rodriguez.
Correct.
That'll go to his website, And then same thing was email. That one's Elliot Rodriguez, same all lowercase, 1L with the Z at loanedepot.com to shoot him an email direct here as well, too. Or like I said, just come by the office. He's got Facebook as well. Just type in Elliot Rodriguez
just look me up and you'll see. I always say, just look me up in there. I am a salesman. Obviously, I can talk a lot. just look me up. That will speak for itself.
Sure.
Simple as that.
But yeah, if you're wanting to process, and trust me, if you're renting right now, let's see what we can do to turn that rent check or rent payment into a mortgage, and then that $800 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever you're paying now for that mortgage or for that rent is going into your mortgage, and then some of that's going back to your principal. You're building equity, and next thing you know, 5 years of doing that, you got 20, 30 grand sitting there waiting for you to put towards a new house.
Well, it's still better than having it in a regular savings, no matter what.
Absolutely. And that's ultimately you pay off a house.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. So, thank you, Elliot. As always, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to everybody,
and Happy New Year. If I don't see you before,
Happy New Year.
2020.
Yeah, if we end up playing poker or something.
That's right.
I know.
That's right. Who knows? Get Thomas up. See if he's gonna do a Christmas Eve poker blowout.
No, Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you for having me.
All right, 9:51. Let's pause for news and.
Law enforcement across the area are asking everyone to remember, take care of yourself and those around you this New Year's Eve. Please do not let bad choices ruin a happy time by causing an accident that could leave people injured or even dead. Plan ahead so you don't even face the decision to drink and drive. Schedule a designated driver or use ride-share services. And remember, buzzed driving is drunk driving. In addition to acting in a safe manner behind the wheel, people also need to remember that firing a gun is not an appropriate way to celebrate. With just a few exceptions, and celebration is not one of them, it is illegal to discharge a gun within city limits, especially. Regardless of your location, random shooting, including into the air, puts people in danger. Any bullets fired upward into the air, they must come down somewhere with potentially serious consequences. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 11 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let us get you up to date with your Chavez County Sports Report.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. The Roswell Coyotes boys basketball team were busy in Clovis over the past weekend at the Clovis Holiday Tournament, losing on Friday in the semifinals by a score of 91-65. That was to Volcano Vista. But Roswell bounces back to beat Melrose 69-68. You won't see that meeting very often, but Roswell does win it to move to 6-2 on the season. By the way, that was Melrose's first loss, in case you think they weren't a very good small school team. They are. Goddard, meanwhile, on Friday night takes on a smaller school as well, beating Dexter 63-40. The Rockets are 3-3 overall. And also on Friday, Hagerman knocks off Grady 57-21 in boys hoops. The Bobcats are 5-3, and Gateway Christian defeats Tatum 61-45. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds, our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently around Roswell Way. Let us get this refreshed over here. We're looking around 43 degrees currently. Humidity is about 51%. Winds are calm at the moment. Yes, I pronounced the L in calm. Don't judge me. Barometer's at 29.93 with a dew point of 26 degrees. Looking for a beautiful head into the weekend around Roswell Way. 68 for the high today under mostly sunny skies. There will be some wind in the forecast. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles an hour for tonight is when the winds really kick up Partly cloudy, dropping down to an overnight low of 40. Winds 10 to 15, steady increasing to between 15 to 20 out of the west. And those winds could get as high as 30 miles an hour after midnight. Mostly sunny for your Saturday, 70 degrees for the high, winds calm, 10 to 15 miles an hour. Saturday night, mostly clear, dropping down to 39, 73 on Sunday, 75 on Monday as we dwindle down the final days of 2024. And then for your New Year's Eve, sunny skies, high of 55 degrees. So a big dip from the 75 on Monday to near 50 degrees on Tuesday. For the first day of 2025 on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, getting up to 53 degrees for the high, and sunny and 56 for the second day of 2025. So yeah, enjoy the warm weather while you got it, because you're going to have 60s, 70s, basically shorts and or long sleeve t-shirts weather. So get out there and really enjoy it. I know I would. 7 minutes away from 9 o'clock right now. Let us get you up to date with your Red Apple Business Update.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished mixed yesterday. The Dow, which was down 180 points at one point, finished in positive territory. This the second trading session of the so-called Santa Claus rally. That said, trading was more or less muted overall in the first session following the Christmas holiday. In economic data, new U.S. jobless claims slipped, but people are remaining unemployed for a longer period of time. New jobless claims in line with the average over the past 12 months, but continued jobless benefit claims hit the highest level in 3 years as the rate of new hiring has slowed. In company-specific news, it's a trend we've observed since Election Day, a general advance for the so-called Magnificent Seven: Apple, Nvidia, Alphabet, Meta Platforms, Amazon, Tesla, and Microsoft have rallied 20% on aggregate since Election Day. And in commodities, natural gas futures fell for the session. That move notably larger than what oil futures experienced during earlier trading, and most likely investors are attempting to study weather forecasts and making that bet, estimating home heating demands. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Janine Pirro here with an urgent warning. A financial war is coming and your savings are at risk. While inflation continues to kill the dollar, America's enemies have launched a final attack on the dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know, go to freegoldguide.com/Pirro or call 800-965-8004 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver now.
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
Roswell Tire and Appliance has a great selection of brand new refrigerators, freezers, ranges, washers, and dryers, all with special Christmas pricing now through New Year's. With Roswell Tire and Appliance, you can have it in your home before the end of the year. Save even more on their selection of scratch and dent appliances. Plus, find a huge selection of tires and the people to help you get it done. Roswell Tire and Appliance can repair your appliance as well. They pride themselves in service long after the sale, with repair warranty, and they deliver to all of Roswell and the surrounding area. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. 3 minutes away from 9 o'clock on this post-Christmas, pre-New Year's Friday morning. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. He will be back inside your radios, regaling us with all sorts of tales of ribaldry, I'm sure, that he got into heading over to Maryland and the D.C. area. I'm sure he kept it, mostly PG. But, when you go home, you kind of get a chance to let the hair down a little bit. And Mike doesn't have any, so, he's got to let loose in other ways. Hey, if you missed any portion of today's program, well, you've already heard it because it's all pretty much a rerun, but you can always go back and find all of these interviews in their entirety over at ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab. You can see the show in its entirety, or head over to the Facebook page. Just look for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM on Facebook, and you can enjoy those interviews a la carte as our wonderful video production team has lovingly edited those down and put them up for you in bite-sized capacity so you can enjoy those at your leisure. High school basketball action underway as we, not quite as we speak, but finna get underway here in just a little bit. Of course, all the tournament action happening around southeastern New Mexico. You can follow along with all of that basketball action over at ksvptv.com. Our crack video crew has been on the scenes getting all the good stuff. And, of course, our announce team out there as well, getting you up to date with all the play-by-play and need-to-know info on the buckets, the corner threes, and all the other good stuff happening out there on the courts. Head over to ksvptv.com, click on your Roswell Coyotes or Goddard Rockets tab. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy all the basketball action. It's waiting for you at ksvptv.com. It's Southeastern New Mexico Sports Authority, then, now, and always. Make sure to stay tuned. Next hour, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had with Justin Dominguez and Diana Luce from the District Attorney's Office, giving us all sorts of good information on what the DA's office is all about, what they're there for, and how they can help you as we head into 2025. So we'll replay that interview coming up here in just a few minutes, right after the news and our next little intro on a morning without Mike Winters. One more on 106.5 KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Stay tuned.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. 33-year-old man accused of burning a woman to death in a New York City subway car has been indicted on state charges. The indictment is sealed and will remain so until Sebastian Zepeda, an illegal immigrant from Guatemala, is arraigned, probably in a few weeks. Police say Zepeda identified himself in photos and surveillance videos showing the fire being lit. The political turmoil intensifies in South Korea, where the BBC's Gene McKenzie says Parliament has voted to impeach the country's acting president.
Prime Minister Han was supposed to lead South Korea through this political crisis, while the Constitutional Court here decides whether to dismiss or reinstate President Yoon. But less than 2 weeks into his acting presidency, a row has erupted after Mr. Han blocked the appointment of 3 judges that Parliament had chosen to oversee Mr. Yoon's case. The opposition party, which controls the Parliament, says Han's move is grounds for his impeachment. But his removal would only intensify the political gridlock and uncertainty the country is grappling with.
Aviation experts relate that Russian air defenses may have brought down an Azerbaijani passenger jet, killing 38 people.
Azerbaijan observed a national day of mourning on Thursday for the victims of the crash. Azerbaijan Airlines Embraer 190 was en route from the capital of Baku to the Russian city of Grozny in the North Caucasus on Wednesday, when it was diverted for reasons yet unclear and crashed while making an attempt to land in Oktau in Kazakhstan. Cell phone footage circulating online appeared to show the aircraft making a steep descent before smashing into the ground in a fireball. I'm Charles Dillon.
We're seeing a sell-off this morning on Wall Street. The Dow is down 366 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index off 367, a loss of close to 2%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Ever approach to the sun.
The spacecraft and its instruments were designed to withstand the sun's scorching temperatures, but in space you can never be sure. So NASA scientists will be relieved as well as delighted to hear that the Parker Solar Probe has passed its biggest test, sending back a beacon signal indicating that it survived its historic journey. They hope it will have gathered new data on how material is heated to millions of degrees, how energetic particles reach near light speeds, and find where the solar wind comes from.
The BBC's Palab Ghosh. Germany heading for a national election 7 months early. President Frank-Walter Steinmeier has ordered Parliament dissolved, set new elections for February 23rd. Steinmeier made his decision after Chancellor Olaf Scholz's governing coalition collapsed. He lost a no-confidence vote earlier this month. Townhall.com. More skullduggery beneath the waves.
Finnish police say authorities detained a ship linked to neighboring Russia as they investigate whether it damaged a Baltic Sea power cable and several data cables. It was the latest incident involving disruption of key infrastructure. Police and border guards boarded the Eagle S and took control as they investigate damage to the S-Link 2 undersea power cable. The cable brings electricity from Finland to Estonia across the Baltic Sea. The cable went down on Wednesday. Keith Peters reporting.
In Australia, 2 sailors in separate boats have been killed in boom accidents 2 hours apart. The storm ravaged first night of the annual Sydney to Hobart yacht race, adding to the event's long history of deaths at sea. The New Wales Police Superintendent Joe McNulty says the crews on both boats, which have been seized by police for evidence, are, in his words, doing it pretty tough at the moment. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. A morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Excuse me. Happy Friday morning. We made it through another long work week. We're just going to head into a weekend together, the final weekend of 2024. So if you're going to get it done this year, you best get it done. Because we're closing in on 2025. By the way, I just got update over on the Book of Faces, as one broken Matt would say, that Kim and Mike are airborne. Like they weren't flung. I mean, I know they're small, but they weren't like flung by a giant. They are currently on a jet plane, flying back, jettisoning back, if you will, to Roswell, New Mexico, from their family sojourn off to the Maryland and D.C. area. So Mixmaster Mike, barring any kind of problems, complications, and the like, will be back inside your radios this coming Monday morning to regale us with his holiday hijinks and all the stuff that he got up to when he headed over to the rightmost coast for the holiday season.
I'm sure we'll hear all about the trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they come back,
they will get us up to date on all the goings on out there, all the food. I'm sure he had more than his fair share of crab while he was out there. I think that was a big thing for him. You know, I am dying. I'm dying. We're all dying. And now this. No, but I'm dying to get over to the East Coast, specifically to like the Maine area, because I watched basically a breakdown of the best lobster rolls in the country, and they were talking about, you know, the Maine area is the best you're ever going to have.
Yes.
But what do you think? Phone ring? No, I'm coming back. Oh, okay. But they have this. There's a restaurant up in I can't remember where in Maine, but it's called The Po' Boy is the name of the restaurant, and they originated the lobster po' boy. It's like the first place that ever did that style of po' boy sandwich, and it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And now I have an entire mission to just get to Maine so I can go to this one restaurant that I don't even know where it is and eat the original lobster po' boy.
Yeah.
It looks so good. It's like 2 lobsters worth of meat on this thing. Looks amazing.
I mean, if it's actually in there, then yeah, maybe it'll taste good because the lobster will be more fresh.
Yeah.
If you get one from here, then the lobster will, like from Red Lobster, probably it won't taste as good. As you think it will.
You're hard pressed to find fresh seafood around these parts. Whereas when you go to Maryland, you know, they have a saying over there that you know the fish upon your plate today spent the night in Chesapeake Bay. Rodney Dangerfield used to have a bit where he talked about, I don't care where my fish was, who it was with, or what it was doing while it was there. I just care if it was on my plate and if it's dead. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of that style of seafood. It's funny, most of the items on my bucket list involve food or beverages in some capacity.
Yeah.
Like, and this has just got added. There's a museum, a Coca-Cola museum in Atlanta. Actually, caught a story about this. The Coca-Cola company donated a ton of money to the city of Atlanta to build this big, beautiful, like 5-story aquarium. And so right across the street from the aquarium is the Coca-Cola Museum. Yeah. And the entire experience is basically like walking through propaganda. It's like the entire thing is like Coke, Coke, Coke. You're bashed over the head with it. But the key is the final step in the tour, because you get taken to this room where it's Coke from around the world. They have all these different dispensers that represent different countries.
Yeah.
And all the different products that are only available in those countries. So you can try like a mung bean drink from like China or Korea, or like a, you know, something with dragon fruit in it that they only have in Spain or something like that, you know. That is my dream room. That to me is Willy Wonka's like chocolate factory when they walked into the wallpaper room. That's like a dream come true for me. It's like I just want to go and spend 13 hours in this room and try every single soda you have. I want to leave bloated and gassy, but very, very happy.
I wonder if they have hot cola, because if in like places like,
you mean hot like spicy or hot like temperature?
Like temperature.
Oh,
like I guess I've heard in India or Egypt or places like that, they have hot cola for you to drink.
Well, you know that here in the States, this was a big ad campaign. Dr. Pepper was trying to like they were trying to like find the next way to enjoy their soda that was unique, and somebody suggested, if you like it cold, you'll love it hot. And that was a huge thing for a long time, hot Dr. Pepper. Matter of fact, growing up, when I was a kid in Oklahoma, we had this thermometer that we kept on our carport just outside of our house so we knew what temperature it was outside. and it was a Dr. Pepper thermometer, and it had the thing on the top, if you like it cold with a Dr. Pepper on ice, and at the bottom it said, you'll love it hot. And it was a cup that said Dr. Pepper on the side, like a mug, and it had obviously hot Dr. Pepper inside, but the key was it had a slice of lemon floating on top, right on top. I've never tried it hot, but I've always been curious.
Yeah.
And it made a comeback like a few years ago. People were like, oh, you got to try this hot. It's apparently great for like if you're sick. It's really good for like, clearing out the airways or whatever. But yeah, so it's totally a thing. It was in this country for.
I'm sure Santa Claus is in that Coke museum somewhere.
You know, the entirety of the reason we see Santa Claus the way we do is because of Coca-Cola.
Right.
Like he wasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't red suit before that. Like it was Father Christmas. It was mostly depicted in green.
Sure.
But the Santa Claus depiction from Coca-Cola specifically is the Santa Claus that we reference today. I guess sort of. It's also the night before Christmas, the story, because you kind of get the description there. But the first like physical depiction of that Santa was from Coca-Cola. So you got fizzy brown liquid to thank for your Santa depictions, kids.
The moral of the story: if you want crabs, just go to Washington D.C.
That's right. You got fantastic crabs. I'm sure Mike's going to regale us with crab stories on this coming Monday morning when he is back in the captain's chair. By the way, I haven't worked your groove out yet, Mike. It's still in this chair. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the program. I got to get this interview going. Actually, it's a little long. We're going to replay the interview that Mike had with Justin Dominguez and Diana Luce from the District Attorney's Office. Had a great conversation about kind of a year in review for 2024 and what to expect in the new year ahead. That's coming up here in just a few minutes, plus all your other hourly features, which include your Sean Hannity update and whatever else comes our way on this post-Christmas, pre-New Year's Friday. Right now at 14 minutes after 9 o'clock, let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds, our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
During this time of year, as we think about the birth of Jesus, we have to remember that the birth is just the beginning of the story. It is the promise of so much more to come. Without the birth, we couldn't get to his death. Without his death and resurrection, we can't be saved. In a letter to the Roman Church, the Apostle Paul discusses how God's plan was to send his Son to become human on earth, to sacrifice himself to save us. After describing how we live in a fallen, messed up world, he writes this: "If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own Son, but gave him up for all of us, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all things?" He then ends the chapter with these great words: "In these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." As we move forward from Christmas into a new year, if we trust in God, these words can give us much strength and peace to face whatever comes our way.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Diana Luce, our district attorney for the 5th Judicial District here, and lead investigator Justin Dominguez back with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Yep, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Absolutely.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's been a little bit everything since. And, congratulations on, or condolences, I don't know the proper term, but on another 4 years.
No, it's congratulations. So we're excited.
Well, I know your passion for the job, and it speaks volumes because, let's face it, you guys have done a great job in your office and everything, and, the DA Dog program, all the stuff that's going on, and so well-deserved another 4 years to get to doing it some more, so congratulations. And we joke about the condolences because it's not an easy job, but it is a very important job. So for you, how are things? How are you feeling? How's life? How are you feeling about everything right now?
I think things are good. We've done a lot of trials in 2024. The Supreme Court for New Mexico is really trying to clear what they consider backlogs of cases. So our district in Chaves County has done a lot of trials.
Sure. And I would imagine, court's always backlogged. There's never been like, nope, we caught up. But I'm still thinking you're still fishing out of COVID.
Yes.
I think we're still dealing with COVID delays and COVID. So probably a lot of that this year was spent getting buried out of that or unburied from that.
There's still a lot of cases from they weren't during COVID. They were after while they were dealing with the backlog that had happened. So they're looking at the age of cases and trying to move those older ones first.
Sure.
No matter if they're a less serious offense, they're just trying to
get them off the books. Get everything. And let's face it, that's how. At the end of the day, if you're committed or accused of a crime and stuff, last thing you want to do is drag it out for 10 years. You want to get it resolved as quickly as possible. At least most people do, I think. I guess depending unless you're going to spend some serious jail time, then you're like, nah, you get to it when you get to it. But, by and large, most people don't want that kind of stuff hanging over their head. So, yeah, I get it. You want to get that done, and we got to do that. I am curious, though, since we're kind of talking in that world, because even today, how you guys do court, how you guys do things, you're still being impacted from the COVID world. That there's still, and some of it's convenient logistics, but a lot of times you're doing court not even in a courtroom. You're literally sitting in an office via something or other. You know what I mean? It's a different world as being a lawyer today for you guys, right?
That's a positive that came out of COVID.
Gotcha. I said it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's different.
I think that we find it's easier to get everybody on. We always have a shortage of attorneys, whether it's prosecutors or defense attorneys. Sometimes they're attorneys from various parts of the state that are covering hearings here in Roswell or one of our other cities in the district. And also, a lot of our defendants don't have a lot of resources. And so getting to court by transportation, it's hard, but most everybody has a phone with at least Wi-Fi.
Sure. Absolutely. You're right. And I imagine the state alone saves thousands of dollars of just forget attorneys and everything else, just transporting people from jail to court, this and that. And, it's extra risk that may not be on Justin's side. They're looking at it like, well, that's one less safety risk we got to worry about,
Yes, sir.
But financially, that saves gas money. It saves labor. That saves basically instead of driving them downtown or driving them an hour to a courthouse or wherever they got to go, depending on what's going on, they literally bring them down the hall to the courthouse and the jail, and they can conduct business. And for you as attorneys, even because by and large, you don't have attorneys that have a case in Carlsbad one and then later the afternoon in Roswell. They're pretty much, but they might be like, okay, I got to be in this courtroom at 2 o'clock, in this courtroom at 4 o'clock, and then this court, and this is going long. Now you're in one room and you're like, you can just boom, boom. You know what I mean? So it really does save time and logistics there. Even for attorneys, just I got to bounce from that courtroom to this courtroom to this courtroom, and now I just do it all in one spot. So,
well, and even on the contrary, I think in our area, our communities are so close-knit that we'll have what you consider conflict cases where an attorney from Hobbs will have to cover a case in Artesia, or like an Eddy County attorney will have to cover a case in Chavez County because there's some type of a conflict because of the communities or the ties therein. So there are cases or instances where we would have to have an attorney from another county cover a case in another county. So being virtual, as long as they're not mandated to be in person, those it becomes more efficient to be able to conduct those virtually.
I really like it because it really is a win-win for everybody. But is there drawbacks though? Like, because I mean, like when it comes to signing things and documents and like, or the electronic world make pretty seamless with that too now.
Yeah, no, I think what the financial industry created a digital electronic world long before law did.
Gotcha. So you just get to take advantage of it.
We can e-sign. Everything can be a PDF. It can come to you in email. I mean, you can sign things from your phone if you need to. So really and truly, that is more efficient than trying to track down where did that piece of paper go.
Is there still things that we need to work on, like on the legislative side of it, to where, because I imagine there's things that you cannot access because of maybe an archaic law or something that isn't thinking about modern times and modern technologies. Is there a lot of that kind of, and what I'm trying to say is like maybe a piece of evidence or something that we all know is but because the law states something is done as a certain way, kind of like a, for instance, the baby safety locker issue. Some cities are having an issue because the state law is saying something like you can't put a baby in a box. You have to hand them to a physical person. So city ordinances or stuff are changing. Okay, no, we can make the box acceptable. Stuff like that. Are you dealing with issues from the legislative side, maybe in technology like that, where it's like, we all know this is the right thing, but because the way the law is written, it's really hampering us from doing the technology side of it?
The only thing that we really see is really it's the constitutional protections that require confrontation in person. And our Supreme Court really hasn't found a way, other than if all sides agree.
Gotcha.
To let like expert witnesses testify virtually. Now, we can always agree. The state can agree.
Sure.
But defense doesn't. The defendant's rights are to have the person there in person to confront them. And so we've agreed to have experts for the defense testify by video in jury trial. But we're not allowed to do the reciprocal.
Sure. And kind of another thing that's kind of maybe a future problem that not just here in Roswell, but every single court in the land's going to have to deal with is as technology advances and all this AI and all this other things come into play, what's considered evidence and how it's considered evidence is going to have to be addressed and looked at. And things like that. Because as we get, it's not going to get worse. It's going to get better, this technology.
Well, and I think on the law enforcement side, as far as our agencies are concerned, we're seeing programs coming out now where they're able to take your cameras, our body-worn cameras, and automatically download the footage from an incident, and then AI will come in, view that incident, and automatically type up or generate a report for the officer based upon that incident. So now then we have to start looking at, can an officer testify to what artificial intelligence is writing in that report because they didn't specifically write it? And then are they reviewing that report to be able to affirm or swear or affirm that those are the incidents that took place? So and then also,
so it's good and bad because ideally, in theory, that sounds like an amazing tool for law enforcement to have, because I know you guys love doing reports. But
well, and you know what's I don't mind them.
But
there's a lot of guys that do
really streamline that process for you, because I'm sure especially depending on a shift, an officer might have to do that times 10 depending on what kind of night they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I could see the benefit there, but at the same time, there's a lot of things we got to be careful about on this other side.
And I'm a little crazy because I enjoy writing. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Probably why you're in the DA's office doing what you're doing.
But and then also compound with that with what you were talking about legislation and technology and stuff, is there's still state statute that mandates you have to have your insurance card with you in person, or you have to have your driver's license with you on your person. It's on your cell phone. Your insurance agency will email you a copy of your insurance card, or you can have your when you apply for a driver's license, they'll send you your temporary license on your phone until you get it, or in your email until you get it, the paper copy.
The state does when you get your registration.
And so officers have to use discretion, upon a vehicle stop, and they show you your insurance. Technically, can you receive a citation because you don't have the physical copy? Well, by statute you can, but then as an officer using your discretion. If you see that it's valid, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, just because you can,
Unless
does that mean you should?
Unless you just want to be a real jerk that day. Why would you really, ideally, you could tell they're being legit.
So,
they're legit. They're trying to be within the law.
So there are differences, archaic, if you want to call it that, and not moving forward with times or whatever you want to call it. But there are differences.
I'm just wondering because we always hear, like, especially it's fun if you're on the internet, archaic laws, and it's like, did you know in so-and-so Oklahoma, if you walk your horse down the left side, you go to jail, stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm just wondering how many of those laws are going to come up from this, or we're going to need to address some of that, because these laws are technically not protecting us against some of the new things that are out there.
Sure.
Or by vice versa, giving you guys the tools to do what you can do to prosecute cases and all that stuff, and what can be used and what can't be used, and stuff like that. So it's always been, I mean, this is not something new, because you guys got constantly involved. I mean, now thanks to social media, that really was a tool, believe it or not, to make law enforcement's job a lot easier.
It's like ring cameras, video surveillance cameras at your door of your house.
People will out themselves if you give them the opportunity.
Those have helped law enforcement tremendously.
Yeah.
And the technology of those is great. I mean, it's right there on their phone, and officers can record it off their body cam, and they know what happened.
Just because of your experience and stuff, you've kind of, practiced law and seen before these things were commonplace. Have you seen the evolution of it being accepted? Like, was it like when early some of this stuff was it hard to get this accepted as evidence in court, and as it's gotten better, or was it pretty accepted? As we've evolved, like, have you seen like where it was difficult to get some of this to be presented, and as now technology is better, it's just commonplace? I mean, did you see that evolution?
I think we saw us struggling to get courts to allow it in, because certain defense counsel would object to it.
Sure.
And
any defense counsel with their salt, they're going to do whatever they can to that's what they do. Yeah.
And then over time, I think maybe just the change in who the people are, and the change in judges, different generations of people.
Now that a judge might themselves have a Facebook account or
they have their own camera, doorbell,
TikTok video,
right?
or whatever. Yeah.
It has changed kind of the whole makeup of that, and you'll at times hear judges make comments about, well, everybody knows how this works. And so, it's kind of like, what are we doing here, right? They're the gatekeeper of what comes in, especially if it's a jury, they're the gatekeeper. And so it's the reliability. And so if they don't think, maybe the weight of it, what do you think it shows? Sure, that's, you decide. But reliability, that's a whole different question. So I really just think the passage of time and things becoming commonplace are what helped us more than any changes in statute or rules or rulings by courts.
Has it changed how your prosecutors and yourself have built cases? Like the thought process there a little bit? I mean, it's always about the evidence and everything else, but what's deemed evidence and what you're thinking, like could you see some of this stuff and said, look, I could never have built a case on this 2 years ago, but now this is a case. I mean, are you seeing some of that evolution in, like, from your side in building cases and things too?
I think it has given us better evidence. I think the only other thing that's really changed is the changes that have come about in testing of evidence.
Gotcha.
The FBI.
Yeah, DNA is a whole. Yeah, it's like, quite frankly, it's like even because most people probably cared about DNA with OJ. I mean, let's face it, that was kind of when DNA evidence and everyone with OJ, that put it in everybody's world.
Well, I think New Mexico specific, the biggest change we've seen in regards to DNA is probably Katie Sepich case out of Las Cruces.
But I guess my point was that, like, DNA back when you thought DNA is night and day difference from the 90s and OJ and all that.
It's not a day difference.
Yeah.
And all of the private companies that came about that started collecting your DNA because you wanted to know about your own history, right? Who
23
you are,
and Me's and all that. Yeah.
That changed the makeup of things for prosecutors and law enforcement.
Interesting.
And
I never thought of that.
The FBI worked on testing, having the ability after a bullet goes into a gun and it's fired. Before, you could never test for DNA at that point. They're like, oh, it's all destroyed.
Wow.
They worked on testing to develop a means to test. It didn't mean they'll always find anything, but they have a protocol that they have sanctioned, and they're now using it. And we used it in we had people that testified with that new technology in the Cahoon Park shooting in those trials.
That's sorry, I'm a little nerd on that. I know we talk about the track, but that's kind of cool.
It is.
I mean, the whole case, none of that's cool, but the fact that they're using some of this technology and they're able to do things that we would have never conceptually been able to do 10 years ago is pretty cool. And it's kind of even like when I talk with when the sheriff comes in and they talk about some of the tools they have and how they can go to a murder scene or a crime scene and put these cameras down and kind of get these 3D angles and almost rebuild the scene and the case on a computer, and they can almost anticipate through the shots and how it went this way and almost recreate this dramatization just based on filming the area and using the computers to gather the evidence and data and give you a scenario. They have that kind of technology now, and I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, the Faro scans are incredible.
Right.
Yeah, I know I'm getting I'm just talking general.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But it's pretty cool what they can do with some of this stuff nowadays.
Absolutely.
And I imagine those are valuable tools for your attorneys when they get into the courtroom and it's really hard to, when you've got the science and everything pointing right here, it's like, look, okay, there might be like a 1/10% chance this thing's wrong, but it's not.
It's corroboration, right? And that's what our cases are really built on. I mean, we used to have to depend on, they took photographs and there were witness statements.
People's memories.
Right. And maybe they, had some DNA, or maybe they had some ballistics if it's a shooting. But now with all the capabilities of testing and then different video surveillance that are out there, or like say doorbell cameras, what we have for corroboration now is it's so different.
Sure.
It makes our cases better.
Well, and it's because you look at because a lot of this you relied on witness testimony for most of this stuff, and not people don't intentionally deceive, but let's just face it, when you're in a heat of the moment, details get lost. Things get, you're trying to, depending on the scenario, you may be trying to survive. And what color shirt that guy was wearing or how they were standing is not a detail you generally remember.
Well, and I think in a lot of those cases, it's not even about deception. It's the individual's perception, because to them, their perception is their reality, and everybody perceives things differently.
And so these technologies really, it's not that you're just saying, okay, this is what really saw, not your fly on the wall perspective of it kind of thing. And so that's where now, granted, it's not the be all end all. You need this stuff along with that testimony to get, because at the end of the day, your job is beyond a reasonable doubt to prosecute someone. So using this equipment on top of those testimonies, on top of whatever other things that are that's how you get a conviction. And so, but
I'm glad you said that, because it's important to always take the opportunity to educate the public when we can that in those types of trials, it is beyond a reasonable doubt, not beyond all possible doubt. That's
the letter of the law. That's what the prosecution is trying to achieve here, and that's why black and white is the law, but there's so much gray in there.
Right.
And that's why you have your day in court, and this is why you do this stuff, and this is why you want the best defense, and you want the defense to try to, because at the end of the day, that's what makes the judicial system better, because it's testing itself. So I know people get mad at defense attorneys, these Johnny Cochran types and all this, but they are part of the equation, that they make a better legal system, because you got to challenge these things and things to put it to the test to see if it's right, and if it passes the test, then justice was served, and that's how it works. In the big picture. I'm sure you had a few things that you wanted to cover that I just sidebarred us on technology.
Oh, well, no. Technology is always a good topic. I think the only other thing we would talk about is when you talk about, not necessarily archaic, but things that are not on the books that we need, is we're at the holiday season and people, there may be consumption of alcohol and people might get in a vehicle and drive. But we still don't have a means in New Mexico, if somebody's under the influence of marijuana, to do testing.
I've always been curious about that.
Yeah. Other states have developed what they call a per se, like alcohol has for the .08. New Mexico has tried to do that. Our legislators have tried, and it just doesn't ever get anywhere because they're like, oh, there's not enough science behind it. And so we legalized it. You can have it, but it doesn't mean you can still be impaired and drive.
Exactly. Doesn't give you a license to DUI.
So we still don't have anything for that.
Sure.
Right now it's our drug recognition expert officers
Sure,
who
yeah, the
testify
law
about
enforcement
impairment.
And they're basically doing if it talks, quacks, and like a duck, it's a duck right now. I know there's a few things in the eyes and stuff that can give them indicators, but at the end of the day, you can't do a blood test or a thing to say, yes, they were intoxicated at the time because unfortunately, marijuana is always...
DREs are in short supply, too.
Yeah, you could have smoked marijuana 2 weeks ago, and it's still in your system, but it doesn't mean you're impaired.
Right.
And that's the rub.
And that's the rub. And so, it's just, it's a complex issue. Other states have dealt with it differently. I don't know where New Mexico is going to go with this, how soon we're going to see something. Sadly, it seems that when we make a decision to finally do something, it's when there's been a tragedy. You mentioned the baby box, right? We had to wait until tragedy started happening in this state.
Unfortunately, you don't realize there's a problem until there's the problem.
Well, I think sometimes people do recognize the problem. You just can't get everybody on board that you need to make something happen.
We don't worry about it until it's blown up in your face. And maybe we should worry about it. Yeah, you're right. That's human nature. Yeah, absolutely correct. But and another thing too, and this is for folks, because I'm sure there's some folks that have no knowledge of cannabis or marijuana, and they're like, well, why can't you? Weed is different than when you knew it. It ain't smoking no joint or smoking a bong, and then they don't smell like because generally speaking, back in the day, you're like, yeah, somebody in here smoking weed, you could tell. But between the edibles and tinctures and the science that's going on, you could be so impaired on weed and you don't smell nothing here because they could be vaping it, they could be eating it, they could be just putting it in their tea or whatever they're doing to it now. And and I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything else, but as far as catching someone impaired by it, it's really, really tricky to do it. And you can think you are, but to prove it, that's the rub. And so you can get arrested, we can get them off the streets, and me safe for the moment. But can we get convictions for that? That's probably where you're having the problems right now. Because no, I wasn't. Yeah, it was. No, okay. You really don't have anything to say to argue that they weren't, other than the officer's testimony and what they observed and stuff, and I'm going to take a stab that defense attorneys are finding ways to work around some of that.
Well, like you said, quantifying it's hard because it does stay in your system longer, and so what is the amount in your system that could make a person impaired? And until there is I guess maybe what we really need is a national consensus on that, so that we could then have that decision and the legislature could make a law.
And I would even argue that it's going to be trickier than people think because the way the cannabis industry is and how the products are, there's no set standard of impairment. Like different strands of marijuana do different things to people, and they react differently depending on what they're doing. So if you see a guy that's slouched out sleeping, they may be on weed, but that equal guy that's running around bouncing off the wall, you know what I mean? Like there's no set standard to determine that.
So it's hard. And so it doesn't mean that we don't have people driving impaired. It doesn't mean that we won't have crashes or people injured. But we really like to encourage people to, think about what they're consuming, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cannabis, whether it's prescription drugs.
And the holiday season's always tenfold on these types of things. Yeah.
And there's so many people that are traveling during the holidays. It just puts that volume out there, and we want people to be safe.
Absolutely. And trust me, law enforcement all over the state will be on patrol doing They're not stupid. They know that when the holiday season hits, everything goes tenfold. The domestic violence, the drinking, the driving, the drugs, all of the above go up tenfold.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I was going to piggyback off of what Diana was saying. For whatever reason around this time of year, our domestic violence rates go up too. So, if you find yourself in a situation over the holidays where things are getting a little heated, man, step outside, take a break, go for a walk, do something else, separate yourself from that situation and just
not a proponent
take a
for
breath.
Cannabis, but if that calms you down, just don't drive it.
Right, yeah. Just take a break. take a step
I'm saying
back.
you should just say it. Do that.
Well, and there are a lot of resources to call for help, for a place to go if you don't have someone. Sometimes people don't have any place to go. They don't have anyone else to call. There are resources, and what's great is they post them everywhere. So like all the restaurants have them, all the convenience stores have them, all of your, they're up in our stores like Target and Walmart. They're posted, save those numbers, memorize those numbers, whatever you need to do.
And I'm sure all of our local law enforcement, you call if they need a ride or whatever, they'll make sure, I know for folks in Eddy County, their DWI program's got a deal. They're working with law enforcement and a few other local agencies where you call and they'll come pick you up. And I'm sure there's something very similar here in Chaves County as well, too. But,
for the kind of a safe ride, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
What they exactly call all of them.
Each county has different versions
they all have
of
different
them.
names. But whether
They're all
it's
there.
whether you're impaired, whether you're in a domestic violence situation, calls for somebody. Don't feel like that people don't have time or won't help you, because they will.
Absolutely. Trust me, they will. They want you to do this now than having to deal with the consequences of you not doing this.
Yeah, step away, take a breath, take a break, figure it out, separate yourself from that environment.
There is nothing that's going to happen over the next 2 weeks that's going to be something that you can't walk back from if you just take a moment to think for a second. I know family. There's nobody better getting you mad than your family sometimes. I get it.
Yeah, and everybody's dynamic is different.
Sure.
Just take a breath.
Yeah. And I get it. Close proximity, holidays and all that. But, focus on the fun stuff. And when someone had a little too much, and they walk away. Just, don't drive
Please.
away.
Please.
But separate, take a chill pill, go whatever you got to do. And if need be, if it does get too bad, don't hesitate to call law enforcement, let them come in and get things right for folks and help people and all stuff. They're trained to do it. They don't like to. I tell it to a person. You walk to. I'm going to say Justin's probably going to say the same thing. Every law enforcement person I've ever talked to said, "What's the worst things?" 9 times out of 10, it's the domestic violence ones. Those are the ones they usually have. They see the worst. Those are the hardest calls for enforcement most of the time.
Yeah. They're not fun. That's for sure. Yeah. Just take a breath.
Yep. So let's. For your own sanity and for our law enforcement, let's do our best to kind of and let's face it, you don't want to have to deal with Diana down the road here, and you're gonna eventually if you keep doing this. You don't want to. You want to deal with Diana in a good way when she's coming with the dogs and hanging out with you.
That's
doing
right.
The fun
That's
stuff.
right.
Not when you're looking at her on the other side of the courtroom.
You're in a bad way if you're looking at Diana on the other side of the table.
Yeah, that's true. This is true here. But for you guys right now, what's kind of is the office going? Just kind of giving the community what needs, things like that. Is there things the community could do to make your office a little easier? With DA dog stuff or anything in general that we can get the public to help out with?
Well, the DA dogs are their foundation always will accept any type of support that people want to do, volunteering, monetary donations, and right now they're spending a lot of time going with law enforcement. And they're doing a regular visit with the officers and the dispatchers, just to kind of give them that support. But obviously, it's the time of year where sadly things happen, and there's a need. But right now, I think just what I'd ask for the community is be patient that you're being asked to serve jury duty. If you have any jury duty left through the end of the year, we apologize, but the courts count their cases by year end.
Okay.
And so they're trying to close out the calendar year, it's not the fiscal year closing out.
The jury trials are dragged, so they're trying to get all the stuff that they don't need jury trials for.
Right. If they can get them done and over with before the new year. So if you're called in, just thank you for your service, and but we apologize for the inconvenience, but like we said, we have a lot of cases, and the courts are driving the ship, right? And they're counting the numbers.
But I will tell you this from past experience of serving in juries and stuff, the bailiffs and all that, they know it too, and they usually treat you nicer and give you cooler stuff, and they usually kind of, trust me, you're kind of a rock star when you're a juror. They really, they kiss your butt a lot. Just saying. It's not a bad gig.
Well, I'm telling you, the court staff and the bailiffs,
they do an amazing job.
They do an amazing job, and they become jurors' friends, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a one-day trial,
yeah.
maybe not, but we've done a lot of multiple week trials this year in Travis County.
Yeah.
And so, they become like family.
Yeah. Yeah, the bailiffs are the coolest people in the planet. If you're on the jury side and all that, you don't realize how cool. Like, you just see that person standing there with the badge just hanging out, but they're pretty cool people with it, because they're especially from the jury side, they're really the keeper of the jurors, and they're kind of the gatekeeper for them and all that kind of stuff. And they do it. And when the jury needs things, they're the ones that let them go. Hey, get them lunch, or somebody needs to go smoke a cigarette or whatever. They let them go get them do that.
Sure,
they're very nice about that. But anyway, yes, please be patient, and you're actually doing a great service to the community.
It's very important.
This is
a juror's job is very.
I know
important.
we all joke about getting out of jury duty and all these kind of things, but at the end of the day, and to be honest, if it's kind of fun. I mean, not fun, but it's interesting. Like it's if you want to see how the sausage is made, you want to know how your legal system works. No better perspective than you're a juror. You really do get to see, and I mean, you don't see everything, because there's a lot of times where the lawyers are talking and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs in a room in the other room. But you know what I mean? You get to see how the process is, why it's going on, and what's going. And at the end of the day, you ultimately decide on the outcome of the case here. And so you get to see that side. And I'm telling you, one of the coolest, unique experiences a human being can ever have is hang out in a deliberating jury room.
Well, it's like I always say, you got to put yourself in the perspective of that defendant too, or your family member. If you had if your family member was in an unfortunate situation and found themselves sitting as a defendant, you would definitely want someone in that juror box giving all their attention to be able to weigh the evidence of the case and figure out, one way. It's very important that we have jurors that are willing and open-minded to serve that
and
position.
The part I liked about it, and we're running out of time, but I do want to share this with folks, is I've been on a couple cases where where I actually went to sit in the jury and had to deliberate and do the things over the years. I've 2 different courts, 2 different times, but there was a while where 3-year mark, man, I was getting popped for jury duty every day. That was a hot streak. But anyway, it's been a minute. But anyway, I probably do, but anyway,
don't say it out loud.
Oh, sorry, but it's kind of funny that the thing that I found interesting was, and these were emotional cases. There was violence involved and things like that. But the thing that I was impressed by was, because I was thinking, people are going to be like, oh man, but really, sure, people were like, yeah, that was heinous. But at the end of the day, the jurors walked in there and they're looking, all right, and we're looking at the charges, and we're like, did it meet this? Did it meet this? And they were, and to a person, they were taking emotion out of it and saying, based solely on what we saw, did you see? I mean, yeah, I kind of think a thing, but was that proven? And jurors, by and large, really, really take that seriously and really listen to the judge and really put their opinions inside and say, did the prosecution meet the evidence here? And if so, we check it and they say they're guilty. And if they didn't, then we got to say they're not guilty. And I had both cases where one was one way, the other. And I was like, something was gone here, but it was not proven. The evidence was not proven. And I feel, bad that the victims probably, but at the end of the day, and this was years ago, but the evidence didn't meet it. And so I went in like, oh yeah, this is real. Yeah. But you break it down. And juries, by and large, really, really do that. Humans do that. And so, and I saw it firsthand, because I always think, people be people. But no, they do it. And I knew you guys know this, but but I saw it firsthand.
Sure.
So y'all should, if you get the summons, don't try to find a way to work out of it. Just bite the bullet, do it. And I think you're going to find out that you are glad you did it after this ending. You're going to be like, that was a very good experience, an educational experience for me. Sure, there's inconveniences, but at the end of the day, I mean, as an American, you're really seeing what it's like to be an American and what all aspects of being an American. And this is a very important one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good thing. Is there anything we missed? I know I got side.
No, I think we're good. We're good.
Well, thank you guys. Merry Christmas
to
both of you. Thank you guys for everything you do. I know both of you guys work crazy hours and you're dealing with the best of the place and the worst of it. And we do appreciate everything you guys do. And thank you for everything you do. And I will say this, when we talk about the DA Dog legislative session, blow up your legislators. The DA Dog program is one of the best things to come out as far as tools for this. This is all privately funded. The state gives zero money for this type of stuff. The state should be giving lots of money for this stuff. It should be in every DA's office in the country,
Absolutely.
let alone in state of New Mexico. And so blow up your legislators. Tell them that, we got a 60-day session coming up here. Everyone's talking about all these billions. They're going, where are we going to do all this money? Let's find some things. I got some things you can do with that money.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And
Well,
this is one of them.
well, thank you for having us, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
and I
Christmas.
hope you have a wonderful holiday.
You do the
Thank
same.
you very
and
much.
I hope I only get to see you like this and not.
That's right.
All right, 8:54. We're going to take a quick break before news. Don't go away. Say this when we talk about the DA Dog legislative session, blow up your legislators. The DA Dog program is one of the best things that come out as far as tools for this. This is all privately funded. The state gives zero money for this type of stuff. The state should be giving lots of money for this stuff. It should be in every DA's office in the country,
Absolutely.
let alone in state of New Mexico. And so blow up your legislators. Tell them that, we got a 60-day session coming up here. Everyone's talking about all these billions. They're going, where are we going to do all this money? Let's find some things. I got some things you can do with that money.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And
Well,
this is one of them.
well, thank you for having us, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
and I
Christmas.
hope you have a wonderful holiday.
You do the
Thank
same.
you very
and
much.
I hope I only get to see you like this and not.
That's right.
All right.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Sorello. As Southeast New Mexico residents begin to think about ringing in the new year, police and law enforcement across the area are asking everyone to remember, take care of yourself and those around you this New Year's Eve. Please do not let bad choices ruin a happy time by causing an accident that could leave people injured or even dead. Plan ahead so you don't even face the decision to drink and drive. Schedule a designated driver or use ride-share services. And remember, buzzed driving is drunk driving. In addition to acting in a safe manner behind the wheel, people also need to remember that firing a gun is not an appropriate way to celebrate. With just a few exceptions, and celebration is not one of them, it is illegal to discharge a gun within city limits, especially. Regardless of your location, random shooting, including into the air, puts people in danger. Any bullets fired upward into the air, they must come down somewhere with potentially serious consequences. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good for our weekend. We have high pressure setting up over the Four Corners region. That'll be covering all of our area, mid-60s for the afternoon high today, and we should get sunny skies. We'll be in the upper 60s for Carlsbad and Artesia. Overnight, maybe a few clouds. Our lows near 40, and then we're in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 6 minutes away from 10 o'clock, 50 degrees around Roswell Way, humidity at 39% with winds out of the north at around 3 miles an hour. Barometer at about 29.94 inches with a dew point of 26 degrees. Looking for a run of some pretty nice weather heading into the final days, the final stretch of 2024. 68 and mostly sunny skies for the high today. Winds out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, partly cloudy. An overnight low of 40 degrees, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to between 15 and 20. Gusts could get as high as 30 miles per hour tonight. So bear that in mind and batten down the hatches. Sunny skies and 70 for your Saturday. Sunny and 73 for Sunday. Looking at lows in the upper 30s to low 40s pretty much through this entire stretch. For your Monday, sunny skies and 75 degrees on that New Year's Eve. And then on New Year's actual Eve, sunny skies, 55 degrees. So a big dip in temperatures, about 20 degrees from your Monday to your Tuesday. So that final day of 2024 is, it's going to rear its ugly head at us. But come New Year's Day, mostly sunny, pretty much the same thing. 53 degrees. The heat snap is over, and we're slipping into the colder days of the first couple of days of the new year. 53 for the high on New Year's Day. For your Thursday, 56 degrees and mostly sunny skies. 5 minutes away from 10 o'clock, let us get you up to date with your business report.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. MasterCard reports holiday spending rose 3.8% this season, with restaurants and apparel among the bright spots. Angered by the announcement of new U.S. military sales, as well as more aid to Taiwan, China is imposing sanctions on 7 Western companies and their senior executives. China also objects to the recently approved annual U.S. defense spending bill. It was a lower open this morning for Wall Street as the stock market closes in on a brand new year. Following a lengthy battle with cancer, Richard Parsons, one of corporate America's most prominent black executives, he held top positions at Time Warner and Citigroup, has died. He was 76. Osamu Suzuki, the charismatic former boss of Japanese automaker Suzuki Motor Corporation, has died. He was 94. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
KC Light Tower is proud to partner with the Pena Project in ringing in the new year with Mark Chestnut. New Year's Eve from 6 p.m. to midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Come get drinks, food, and socialize before the concert starts at 9. In a combined effort with Royal Services LLC of Artesia, the Pena Project is here to offset some of the costs associated with the passing of a loved one. All money from this event goes towards the Pena Project, who helps cover the costs of funerals of unexpected deaths. KC Light Tower's professional mechanics are always out in the field and are Deutsch certified. KCLT is there to make sure your site is ready when you are and can certify your man lift and forklift operators on your site or on our yards. Save KCLT in your contacts. 575-308-8647. Surface rental equipment all in one place. KCLT, helping you keep America running. Proud sponsor of the Pena Project.
Hey there, Chief Detective at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. If you think you need a new roof or windows, you should know that Trustmark specializes in just the facts. We investigate your roofs or windows issues, document our research in a thorough case file, then present you with hard evidence of our findings. Witnesses in the southeastern New Mexico area can corroborate Trustmark's just the facts approach. A local customer said, of all the bids we received, Trustmark Roofing was the most detailed and explanatory. And another witness said, I received bids from 3 top-rated roofers and Trustmark was the most thorough and forthright. Get the roofer who specializes in just the facts. Dial 575-755-7663 or visit TrustmarkRoofingLLC.com today. But you didn't hear it from me.
Jennifer here at Trustmark Roofing and Windows. At Trustmark, we're all about our customers, and that is because we have some of the best people in the world at our company.
Call now and ask about our special offers. 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
That is going to wrap things up from our end. Mixmaster Mike back inside your radios this coming Monday morning. Hopefully his trip back from the leftmost coast is a successful one. You're listening to 106.5 KEND Roswell, New Mexico. Talk to you on Monday. Have a great rest of your day and a great last weekend of 2024. We'll see you on Monday.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The man accused of burning a woman to death inside a New York City subway train has been indicted on state charges. A prosecutor announced Sebastian Zepeda's indictment at a court hearing. The indictment will be under seal until Zepeda is arraigned. He remains jailed. Federal immigration officials say the 33